fucked right now? What if we fucked in a minute? Ah, yo, 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 yo. What if we fuck right now? What if we fuck right now? What the fuck is good? How y'all doing? How y'all? What if we did it right now? What if we did it right? Oh, baby, psych. We can't do it right now. I got to stream. We can't do it right now. Put them back on. Pull your fucking pants up. Get out of the room. Get out from under the desk. It's time to fucking stream, baby. We have a lot to talk about. We got Tesla earnings. We got a million things going on. We got a lot going on, baby. We got crypto coins ripping. We got Bitcoin at 79K. We got SPY back at 710. We got a lot. We got a ceasefire. Then we got a break of a ceasefire. Then we have a new ceasefire. Then a break of one. Then a new terms. Then a break of terms. We got everything in between. We got a lot to talk about. I'm excited to be back. I'm excited to welcome you all beautiful faces to the stream. We got war updates. We got an intro. We got Tesla earnings. We got the hot ball of money to talk about. We have, I don't know, Sam Altman crashing out. We got peptide to talk about. We got a crypto token that's ripping right now. The founder of is coming on tomorrow with Good Alexander, which is going to be fun. Founder of USDAI/chip, goated ticker physiognomy. That came out. We got Google. We got the car squeeze we didn't get to talk about. We have a video to watch. We got a million things to talk about, a million things to get into, a million things to cover today. And I'm so blessed to be able to do it with my favorite people. Yeah. All is right. Welcome back to the stream. I had a great day yesterday. I'm about to go meet Hans Niemann tomorrow. I'm kind of hyped, by the way. I'm going to go IRL, and I'm going to go meet him. I'm pretty excited. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to go meet Hans Niemann tomorrow. It's a little IRL event, IRL shindig. Gated only, part of full for sure, like a Luma type situation. So don't be DMing me for any invites. Black tie, party full type situation. So I'll let you know how it is tomorrow. And that's basically the only thing I have going for this week. Other than that, I'm sitting in front of the computer, and I'm going to be completely honest. It is a market is fun right now. It's brutal. And I think a lot of people are struggling, but the market is relatively fun, all things considered. So I'm excited to come on stream and talk about it today. Roll call, baby. Who's here? Art Mommy, what's good? DJ, what's good? Joey, Art Collector. Caleb, what's good? Viblet, I saw you earlier. Jackson Ray, what's good? Privacy Isn't Dead, what's good? Spicy Meatball, Hidden Character. Kevin, Sai, Cats, what's good? Live the Life TV, what's good? Small, what's good? Chunky Nuts, Houdini Swap, what's good? Spitter, what's good? Zaro, Defluge, Rex, Polka, Moncock, Maxi, Yonin, Houdini Swap. I said it 5 times. Tulip King, what's good? Miki, what's good? Hey, what's good? Big Mo, first time chatter, welcome. Anita, what's up? What's up? Darth, what's good? All right, yesterday was a lit stream. I'm not going to lie. If you were here. Also, if you've been watching for a while, I feel like that was sort of like a pit W. Yesterday was kind of like a pit W, in my opinion, if I'm being super honest. That was a pit W, and it was cool to see it kind of come full circle, the Kobe stream. Look, I wish he was came on, but that's a rare one. I mean, he hasn't even brought back Up Only. Honestly, I feel like he's more likely to bring back Up Only now that he did it. It's hard to get the dust off of the first stream. Feels weird, right? When everyone's putting so much pressure on it. 5 gifted Hidden Character. Thank you so much. People put a lot of pressure on that stream, so you break the seal, right? It's like when you're out and you're drinking a ton, and you just like pee because it's. I saw the Coinbase president retweeted you. Who retweeted me? Brian? Did he? Is that the Coinbase president? No, the president. I didn't even know they had a president. It's like when you're out and you're like just drinking hella and then you pee because it's convenient. And then for the next like 3 hours, you have to pee every 10 minutes. It's like breaking the seal. And so if you see an Up Only episode, and look, I'm not saying I'm responsible for it, but I'm just saying there's a better chance that we're going to have Up Only before Chris Camillo. I know we might never get Chris Camillo at this point. I don't even know what I'm supposed to do, but it was a really cool stream. It's funny that crypto is up since then. And okay, I'll give you my quick, honest thoughts on the Kobe interview. Is that I said this yesterday, but I can say it again from a level head, is most people that make a lot of money from an industry get really cynical about said industry. And this has happened a lot in crypto. A lot of guys that I've watched make a lot of money in crypto have left and have like spit on crypto. And Kobe, for better or for worse, is deeply optimistic about crypto. And man, it like rubbed off on me. Maybe it helps that price is up and BTC was 79K, but I'm sitting here looking at the market today, and there's this new thing that's like trading pretty well. Made a good amount of money on. It's actually my best trade of the year, but I didn't want to go too deep in that. But it was my best trade of the year so far. Binked it, and you sort of look around and you're like, man, everybody's gone. All the garbage is washed out, and the things that are left are pretty fucking cool. I'm sitting here staring at a Hyperliquid UI. This thing is pretty fucking cool. And I don't know, you just like look around and what's left feels relatively exciting, and there is good reason to be optimistic. And I don't think that there was a reason to be optimistic for a while. Why do you keep saying the war is getting worse? What exactly is getting worse? Nothing's getting worse. I just needed a reason for you to join the stream. Like, dude, I won't forget. I remember calling Hashkoff, who I think is a very, very, very sharp trader, in the late October. Post 1010, BTC was, I don't know, 110 less and dropping and looking very weak. And I remember him telling me that this shit is fried for the inevitable future. And I was like mad. I remember being like mad at him. Like, what are you talking? Like, I remember he like didn't want to give me the full take because I was responding very weird. And I was mad at him. It's like, no, it's not. It's not. And it took me like a while to accept it. And so I think the last couple weeks or like last couple months, a lot of people will come in here to the stream chat and be like, why are you so bearish? Why do you hate crypto? It's like, no, I love crypto. But at this point, we're traders and we have to just be realistic about the situation and the RR of spots and how we think of things. And I think right now, all things considered, I'm not doing the whole bottom calling thing because it's just like a waste of time and energy. But it feels like there's spots. I don't know what to tell you. It feels like there's spots. And it was nice to hear from someone like Kobe who had some takes that were relatively optimistic. So, okay, I'm going to start the stream with some optimism. I'm going to play it on 1.25x. It's a Kobe clip, the only one I'm going to play for the whole stream. And then we are going to start the interview because we have a lot to talk about today. Or not the interview, the stream. I'll play it on 1.25. We have a lot to talk about.
I think people have become increasingly short-term and desperate and panicked. That
Actually, this is
every time the market goes down, they think like this means it's over forever. And every time the market's going up, they can't enjoy it because like they're constantly trying to sell the top. This probably serves some people quite well. My position is that like I think it's just much better to look like 5 and 10 years in the future. And if you think there is like something in the industry that in 5 and 10 years has a chance of being important, then you should allocate some capital according to your own beliefs. If you are fundamentally bearish on everything and the only reason you're here is like to chase the dragon of some old times, then you should go pick up another hobby. Like people like Pokemon cards or whatever now, or sports cards or One Piece cards, or go learn like
Does it sound like AI? You think its accents actually changed or no? You're just trolling.
get your agent harness working, or like I think you're fundamentally truly bearish on everything that's happening on the industry, and you just like making you like mad every day and not enjoying yourself, then you should like go quit. Like that's like, what are you doing here if you think this stuff is not going to be important in the future, but you're still trying to buy it and sell it? Like, go do something else with your time. If you think these things are important in the future, allocate accordingly. Yeah, like easy. It's like it's a marathon. Hey, in crypto, I was like, I'm gonna get rich so quick, dude. Like stuff's so easy. I'm gonna be fucking multi-millionaire in the next 3 months. Oh.
It's the mic just cutting out. That's why he sounds weird, by the way. By the way, the first 5 minutes of the interview, I got scared and I thought he was AI, and I was frantically checking my Telegram messages to make sure it was the real account. Like frantically, like, fuck, is he gonna launch a coin? Fake Kobe's gonna launch a coin in the stream.
It's a good way to build wealth, but it doesn't happen as quickly as you think it will happen. Like suddenly you've been here 4 years and you're like, I'm making some progress finally. It's a bad way. It's a bad way to spend 4 or 5 years if you just don't believe in what you're doing, because you'll doubt yourself every single day.
Yeah.
If you
good luck, CNAP.
So you just follow your own brain.
Yeah, it's the sickest take of all time, and I think the second that we started flipping the framing on the stream from "I'm trying to get rich right now," I mean that was obviously the framing you take when you join crypto. Was like, I'm trying to get rich right now. To my new framing is like, okay, word. I've been trading full time basically for 4 years. I'm 24. 6 more years, I'll be 30 years old. I've been trading full time for 33% of my life, and I'll have 10 years of experience. Probably gonna hit some financial goals by that point. Seems like a fair estimate. Reasonable prediction that I'm gonna hit some financial goals by that. 10 years, full time, trading this shit all day, perma-fried brain. Yeah, it feels like we're probably gonna hit that at some point here in the relative future. And so I don't. That's why I fuck with you guys in the pit. Is I feel like we have flipped our framing into that, and it's made these streams a lot more entertaining and enjoyable and fun. So that is what it is. We have a lot to talk about. We have the market closing in 2 minutes, which we're about to go over. When are you gonna have kids, man? I'd like to have kids like now. I gotta get married though first, and so at all times, right? Kids like it takes a year plus. I gotta be married for at least, like, I feel like I want to be married for a while, and you have to date for like at least a year. So I'm bare minimum 2028 minimum on that, which is kind of difficult. You gonna stream with kids? I don't know. We gotta make 100 mil before I have kids. I'm like bare minimum 2028 on that, which is tough. I'm trying. By the way, real quick, and I'll move on. I heard the new meta, and I'll move on. We'll go to intro. I heard the new meta is Bible study. Okay, I've heard from some very reliable sources that the baddies have shifted from going to the club to going to Bible study. And so I'm about to start going out on Tuesday nights and shit. Bible study Tuesdays in New York, I heard, is a movie, dude. I had some scouts on the town, and they were looking around, and they're sending me resumes talking about, brother, you got to get to Bible study. And so I don't know. I heard it's the new meta. Like, I'm not that like religion's a meta, but I have heard from some very reliable sources that they are at Bible study. And so I'm not trying to bring God into this, but without God, I don't really have that many options, just to keep it a stack. Without God, I don't really know exactly what's going to happen here. So whatever. I'm cool with the until marriage thing. I do pray every morning and every night. And look, I'm just repeating what I know. That's it. I'm repeating what I know. I'm repeating what I've heard. And I've heard that Bible study right now is just electric. I don't know what to tell you. I heard it's electric. 2026 Zoomers, return to religion, loneliness epidemic. It's like meme coins, Bible study. So I don't know. It is what it is. Maybe I'll let you all know if I go next week. But that is where I am out. This is getting clipped. Yeah, I know. And everyone's like, don't use God for this. It's like, no, without God, I'm completely fried. So, all right. We got market close in just right now. Before we get to it, I'll just fly through some of this intro stuff. Number one is this is great. This is why I'm going to Bible study to find my wife, by the way. This is exactly why I'm going to Bible study to find my wife. This is exactly why. Because a top-level Trump counterterrorism official is under investigation and make claims she actively looks for sugar daddies to maintain her exuberant lifestyle. They're everywhere. It's like it's cooked. It's completely fried. This is who you're finding this girl at 11, bro. You're finding this girl at Space in Miami. This is the situations that I find myself in more often than not. Not exactly the sugar daddy part, but this girl is not going to Bible study on a Tuesday. Genuinely. This is not happening. And so I saw this is all over my feed right now. Also, there was a very famous, kind of recently got pushed under the radar, but there was this girl, this VC girl that was dating a very popular FinTwit Twitter account, and she got in all these rounds and she raised all this money, and it was literally a Russian spy. I don't know her name. Somebody try to pull that link. It's a really good one. It kind of got swept under the rug because there was some collateral damage between a lot of very powerful people on FinTwit. And so people, it's sort of like the Epstein files, right? It's like there's a mass assured destruction. And so it didn't really get posted that much, but she was all over the fucking everywhere, all over Silicon Valley. And so, yeah, if anyone can find me her handle just so I can avoid her in the future, let me know. But it did happen and it was all over the place. I'm just letting you know. So that's number one. Number 2 out of 3 is just saw someone posting their wedding on IG. The first slide was them. The second slide was a photo of Capital One Cafe. I can't make this shit up. Nothing is sacred anymore. Oh my God, send the asteroid. Okay, hashtag Capital One partner getting married is overwhelming enough before the big day. Da, 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 da. We, right now, if it was not already overwhelmingly obvious, they sponsored their marriage with Capital One. Okay, they got married at the Capital One Cafe. Capital One probably paid for it. They threw it in the second slide. And they did hashtag ad on their wedding picture, We talked about Neon yesterday and the gambling platforms. We were in the mass sponsorification of everything. And honestly, I don't hate it. I actually don't hate it. It's a little bit dystopian, but we've gotten to the point on Twitter where it's so competitive, on social media where every post is so hyper competitive for your eyeballs that it's just, I don't know, Wedding Post is viral. They probably got paid a lot of money for this, by the way. Wedding Post is viral. Seriously, a wedding post is viral. It is. It's sacred. I wouldn't do it, but the wedding post is viral. It's valuable real estate right there. Now, if I were to I would not get married in the Capital One Cafe, but I'm just saying that we're going to see more of this than we're not. Okay? We're going to see more of this than we're not. And I thought it was a pretty lit post. Last thing before we do market close, because this is all over my fucking feed. This is why people hate Teapot and FinTwit and our little bubble on the internet. And it honestly makes me hate it a little bit as well. Is the IRL connection economy is a $400 billion market, and companies are racing to own it. In the last 6 months, $800 million in capital was deployed on IRL bets. And so we've basically gone so far down the curve and the pendulum of be hyper online, bring your computer to the club, you should be coding at the party, online. We've gone so far in that direction on the pendulum that venture in San Francisco is now funding going outside from first principles. And it's kind of, this to me is actually dystopian a little bit. Okay, no one needs by the way, I don't know who needs to hear this. I needed to hear this at one point. You don't need exposure to the IRL economy. Okay, the IRL economy is just like outside in your city. And I lived in LA for 3 years. I didn't leave my house. I moved to New York and decided I'm going to start going outside because I feel like there's some upside to doing it on your mental. And you don't have to call it the IRL economy. And you also don't need financial exposure to it at all. Like, you just actually don't. You actually just don't. And so this is the point that we've gotten. This is basically what I tell a lot of people is like in 2026, if you look fresh at all and you're relatively personable and you can go out at an event and you can sort of like run a room a little bit and you can make people feel welcome and like enjoy your presence, you actually just have the most edge in 2026 in the coming decade. You just do. You just do. This is what I tell a lot of people is like, this is why people should go to college. Why people should go to college and why if you are personable and you can play the social game, you will just win now more than ever because I'm putting $400 billion into the IRL economy. So that is what it is. Anyways, that's my intro. That's what I got. I had to lock in. Let's go. Market close right now. Came from the Hans interview. Very well done. Thank you, brother. I really appreciate you. I really, really appreciate you. All right. Let's Tesla earnings. Are they out? I think the earnings call is in an hour though. Let's see. Tesla. Beautiful. A sick beat on Tesla. Beautiful. Let's go Hyperliquid. I'm fried. I just go straight to Hyperliquid every single time. Candle. Look at that shit. Wow. Look at that. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful on Tesla. Sick. All right. Today was a very interesting day in the market, okay? Because we have war stuff is dragging on. Market doesn't really care about it. But for the first day in a while, extreme buy pressure on oil. Like oil is candling and risk is also candling at the same time. I think WTI got as high as 93.8 while Bitcoin was over 79 for a while. The new crypto thing is ripping. Hyperliquid looks good. SPX closed the day at 71.37. It was a wild day in the markets today and everything just wants to go up. So we're going to go over market close right now and then we're going to get into some topics. You know the drill. What are you in? What are you in? What are you in? What are you buying? What are you selling? What are you long? What are you short? Cash, money that you made, money that you lost. What do you got? What do you got? What do you got? What do you got? Hit me. Nvidia calls. Gold, always gold. Really. Up on my personal business income. Good for you, brother. Yo, threadguy, that Kobe interview was great. That put me on to you. Welcome, man. I appreciate you. Spot BTC, long BTC. You love it. Buy Monad, Cash, long XPL, long GameStop. Chilling and neat. You know what I'm going to say. You're still an asteroid, huh? Chilling and neat. MSTR HUD. I lost full port on the Iran war ending. Well, it's not over. What else? 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 XBT. What else? What else? What else? What else? Messing with printer. I haven't really paid. Do I need to pay attention to printer? The founder was gonna come on, and I was just like, Launchpad in 2026. I'm just like not that interested. Chip, nice. Yo, and counterparty merch, maybe one day. Bitcoin touching 45K before bull, brother. Maybe. What else? 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 Short chip. You're short chip right now. Funding on this is brutal. Minus 1,000. Damn, everybody is short chip right now. What else? 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 Printer. Vanta. Neat. There's a lot of people that have on-chain tokens right now. I got a chip airdrop and sort of forfeit. DNAP, did we farm this? We did farm it on Plasma. Do you remember this? We were farming it on Plasma. I completely forgot about it. Shorting Bitcoin. Why? Do you remember that we were farming Asteroid? Cool. We'll look at all of it. Counterparty merch, but it's button ups. Yeah, don't lie. Asteroid looks nice. It looks fine, but I'm just so uninterested in it. I just don't. I'll talk about it when we'll get to it. I just don't know what it would take for there to be a new leg up on Asteroid. You know, like what would it take for that thing to go to 250, 300, 400? Is just a little bit scary. But I will say that it's Void. Thanks for the gifted. I will say that it has made me feel like I should stop shitting on memes a little bit. So let's do this. Let's go over market close right now. I'll go over the full watch list. And I want to talk. I have some takes on the market right now, actually. I'm just going to show you this to start, which is Tesla is up how much on the earnings beat? Sick. I mean, it was up a whole like 4%. It looks sick. Crazy candle is beautiful. Tesla earnings beat. I think that they have their earnings call in an hour and 20. And so if you want, we will watch that. Probably watch that. But all right, here's where we're at. Tell me if there's anything in particular that you want me to look at, but let's just go over the full market close right now. First and foremost, pretty sick day on SPY. I mean, it's insane. Threadguy, I really like your streams. Thanks, brother. It looks I mean, yeah, this chart is insane. I mean, it just fucking wants to go up. SPY closed the day at 711, up 1%. And I mean, look at this. It's crazy, really. It is pretty crazy. Because the reason this is crazy too is we'll look at oil near the end, but I mean, I'm done trading this entirely. I refuse to do it. I have no interest in trying to figure out how to trade this oil from here, but I mean, it looks nuts. 92.5, it looks nuts. It got as high as 93.7. It's strong. It's strong. Situation continues on, but the market is at a point where we're completely just shrugging it off. SPX 71.37. Q's up almost 2% today. I mean, look at this chart. Q's up almost 2% today. Look at this thing. Monster. It's beautiful. IGV even up 2.5% today. 88.74. Software ETF. Like software is getting a bid. And this, look, I've been hating on this chart big time. We've been shitting on software, covering the SaaS apocalypse, all of it. But this chart looks, I mean, a breakup of here looks decent. And then the Dow getting close to the infamous 50K level on DJI, the Pambondi level, the immovable level. It's at 49,500. Blah, blah, blah. Crypto and some of these other money with a very interesting day. So the VIX is down 3%. Zcash looks decent again, but it's just like no volume. It's kind of like a weak ass recovery pump. Zcash 320. Bitcoin with a sick day. I can't lie. I wasn't really expecting this. You know, you would want, like, Stoic Savage was tweeting about this a lot, right? It's like, okay, We sat in this range on BTC for, let's go date range, from this candle down to like break above this for, I don't know, 3 months, almost 3 months, 71 days, give or take, a little bit more. And you would think if it was a real break out of this, we would go. And it was looking fucking just weak and underwhelming and whatever. But now it's like, all right, fuck it. Let's run 80 and see what happens, I think, with BTC. And so I don't know. There isn't a lot of hero-esque bottom callers on BTC. There's actually a funny back and forth with Pepper about this, about how like no one's really calling the bottom on. Everyone's afraid to call the bottom. I don't think you need to be a hero on it, but I think simply put, the RR on BTC here still looks really good. It just does. It still looks really good. It's pretty brutal that I had to sell a bunch for I had to sell, you know, $1 million for 75K a pop to pay taxes. But I mean, dude, it's starting to look decent. Okay, I think this sort of, we had this green line here for a couple weeks now, and it was like once we get above this level convincingly, it looks pretty decent. And so wider time horizon BTC chart, like it looks decent, bro. If we can get back in this range and we can start talking about 97, we have a long way to go. But if we can really make a move here and we can start talking about 97, all of a sudden things get a little bit crazy. You got bad advice, should have borrowed against it. But I never understood this. Okay, cool. I owe taxes. I borrow against it. I pay my taxes. Then now what? I have to trade money I don't have. Like, I don't know. It's just, every time I'm trading from a perspective of I have to make money. I have to make money to pay rent or pay a bill. You're just, I don't know. It just sucks. Like here's the thing. Because I didn't do that, now I don't have to sweat BTC moves. I would have been sweating these red candles, bro, if I had done that. I feel like it's a bad life advice to do that, really. That is bad life advice. It really is. Also, yeah, borrow against it on some DeFi platform and get hacked. It's like nobody wants to trade under pressure. Trading under pressure fucking sucks. And then throw it in a DeFi protocol and get hacked and lose it all. Then what? It's just not ever worth it, I think. It's never worth it, in my opinion. So that's BTC. ETH as well looks solid. I chalk it up as a win that I wanted to short so badly and I didn't do it. It's like folding pocket aces against trips. Really, it is. It's like folding pocket aces against trips. I give myself yeah, you should pat yourself on the back for it. But every person on crypto Twitter came out to publicly post the ETH short. And it looks pretty good right now. We got to be honest. So here's ETH. So it looks terrible still. I'm sorry. It looks terrible. It really just does. It looks terrible. It looks terrible. I don't know what to tell you. Is anyone in Sol right now? A convincing position? Does anyone have a large position in Sol? It's just, I don't know. It has no juice, Solana, right now. It has no juice. It really has no juice. I'm also not interested in shorting ETH. Feels just like, why? This has juice. Hyperliquid is like, why would you want to be in a coin with no motion? Arthur Hayes. Hyperliquid chart it's being painted is very pretty. It looks very pretty. I also was thinking about this as it relates to Hyperliquid. Underrated aspect of Hype being the all-in-one exchange for everything is that this chip token comes out last night, I think. I don't know, earlier day. I didn't see it till last night. Really, I wasn't paying attention. Chip comes out. I want to trade it. I go on Hyperliquid. It's just on Hyperliquid, ready to be traded. You take for granted, if you've been in crypto for a while, how brutally difficult it was to bridge and to move money around and to get money on different exchanges and to jump all over the place to trade the new thing. It's not always easy to trade the new thing. Hyperliquid underrated aspect is how it is just like one click to solve that. Really, one click solved it. Very underrated aspect of Hyperliquid. So Hype looks sick. I think Monero looks really, really good as well, where Zcash doesn't. This is another crypto spot that feels like it has some juice right here. This was a sick candle. Most volume since like early Feb. And this thing looks relatively primed. BTCD is going up. Stretch is under 100, and I think it's bent, so we have nothing to look at here. Yeah, nothing to look at here on stretch. Nothing to look at here on stretch. And then gold, we have gold at 47.37, and then silver at 77.6. Kind of just Gold looks weak and Silver kind of looks weak and All right, stock tickers. Energy up across the board. Oil up. Energy names are also up. It was a weird day today with the... You know, it's funny, like, I found myself just not even paying that much attention anymore to a lot of the war headlines and the oil price ticks because it's not moving the market the way that it was. It's like the SPY can close at 7-11 with oil up 4 or 5% of the day. It kind of changes the equation. Yeah, we watched the Coffee Sale video on stream one of these days. So oil here, Palantir with a sick day back above 150. This looks good again. I haven't been in this since like the 120s, but this is starting to look pretty good again. Formed a sick base. Everything else defense is down, kind of convincingly, by the way. I don't exactly know why. I don't actually have a great theory as to why these are down so much, but they're down a lot here. 23%. Lockheed is down a lot. Everything's at Palantir. 20%. Like, I don't know. People maybe just pricing in war over. Big tech is crazy. Semis is nuts. I added this on my watch list just the other day, which is, I guess, insane. Maybe Chumba or somebody posted about this. ARM up 12% on the day. Look at this chart. This is one of the prettiest charts I've seen in I mean, look at this thing. It's nuts. Micron, another one, nuts. I just have no exposure to any of these semi names. SanDisk, look at this. Nuts. AMD, look at this. Nuts. Adobe, biggest gainer though. Oracle looks pretty good. Apple chart is starting to look pretty sick. Look into SOXL, 3x levers semiconductor ETF, just what I need. Wow. My God. 3x leverage semiconductor ETF. Holy fuck. Dog. From March lows, this thing is up almost 2x clean. Or almost 3x clean. Almost 200%, I mean. That's crazy. Leverage ETF is a little bit scary. That's nuts. Google looks sick as well. There's some spots here that just look really good. Chris Camillo mode. Amazon looks sick. He really crushed that. And then Tesla, but after hours, Tesla looks nuts. Does anyone have any big semis exposure that has any takes on what you like, what you don't like? And then some of this consumer stuff in crypto. So MSTR looks good. Up 10%. Relatively impressive. Circle had a sick day. Crypto stocks had a good day today. Circle up 10%. Coinbase up 5%. Snap, I hate this chart, but is up like 4. Figma, whatever. And then where's Hims? Hims back at 29. I think I sold 29.30 is what I sold on Hims. And it's kind of whatever as well. It had that Amazon. I didn't really get to cover it yesterday, but it had that Amazon announcement where Amazon has this GLP-1 program that they just launched and is live. And it kind of fucked the Hims pump a little bit, but all things considered, it looks decent. And then car, which we're going to cover, is crazy. Look at this thing. How'd you get your trading view folders like that? I just added like a watch list or whatever. And then I start them. And they're bing, 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 bing. Look at this thing on car. It was a short squeeze, which we're going to cover it because I'm just excited to talk about it. I want to just understand what happened. This thing pumps 750% in a month. In a straight line, not a single red daily. One flat. Not a single red daily for a month on car. And then today alone, from top tick, it's down 48% in some change. 48% and some change. Crazy. Just obliteration on this thing. I actually really want to cover this today. Okay, I really want to cover this today because this is a dynamic I don't really understand that well on how the short squeeze aspect happened. I understand there's like two parties that have matched like all the supply and ran this thing up, but there's a really good article that came out that I read that we'll read here, which is the car short squeeze from the Short Bear. And then there's a video from this guy, Bill Hwang, who I think his fund was involved when the car short squeeze that lost $20 billion in 2 days trying to do something similar in 2021. Bloomberg's originals are like our ESPN 30 for 30. So we're going to watch that today. I'm so hyped to watch it. I save all the good shit. I save all the good shit for stream. And then last but not least, alts. I'll come back to chip. I'm still like, I like XMR. I like hype. Everything else kind of looks like shit to me. I'm sorry, in crypto. Galaxy looks good. Grass is like, I don't know. I'm uninterested. Mana does look good. Fair. Mana looks good. It's up like 4% today. Uni is like whatever. Avis narrative is fried. Farcoin, no juice. And then other than I guess VVV being interesting. Nothing super compelling to me here. Jupiter, like, I don't know. Nothing really compelling. Athena back down. I was trading fine. Layer Zero's in a tough spot. Plasma looks terrible. Just terrible. Where's the plasma guy? Where's our plasma guy? And then last but not least, I have a section on later stream that we'll talk about chip and USD AI. GG threadguy. What do you have? Was able to perfectly trade car. Nice. We'll come back to that. So chip is the token, speculative token for USD AI. And so it's a stable coin, and they, instead of buying like T-bills or whatever, they buy, they like loan out. I believe they buy GPUs and they loan them out, collect yield on them. And it's this interesting sort of like AI stablecoin crossover narrative play. Now, if you're long, I would not do any. Yeah, they finance them. Okay, they finance them. If you're long, I would not do any DD on how many contracts they have. I would not do any DD on how many contracts they have at all, because I just wouldn't look. But there's some interesting people behind this. The guy who came on stream a long time ago, he came on stream at the old house. He probably came on stream, I don't know, 6 months ago, maybe. And he's a really smart guy. I like him. And I don't know, got some Alexander Good bull posts. And so he's going to come on stream tomorrow with Good Alexander. They're going to come on together. And we're going to talk about the token, talk about AI broadly, talk about the AI trade. But it's traded really well. I mean, look at this thing. You could have banked this. I'll show you the Hyperliquid chart. Is anyone in this? I mean, there was bank potential here. There's bank potential here. Funding now is negative 1,300%, which is insane. DNAP, thanks for the 5 gifted. I still have a small position open. But nothing like super notable. I mostly sold. I bought here last night. I was watching the Lakers win. I bought like here. I bought like here last night because I don't know. I just like was like new coin, cool coin, AI, stable coin. I know nothing about it. I have no idea what it does, but I don't know. There hasn't really been a cool new thing in crypto that didn't go down in a straight line in a while. And I was looking at the tokenomics, and there was a huge percentage of the supply was locked. A lot of it was locked. Like, was a lot of locked supply. And so I was like, I don't know, fuck it. I took a stab. I watched the Lakers, and then I went to bed on this candle, I think. This is right. Yeah, this is like 1 a.m. I went to bed on this candle, and I looked at it before I went to bed, and I was like, fuck it, all right. And just click this. Damn, my mouse is tweaking. I was like, fuck it. and clicked this a little bit, and then I woke up and it was just I don't know, it was a plus 200% in a day. It was kind of a crazy. I don't know. We don't see crypto move like that much anymore. You just don't. You haven't really seen crypto move like that much anymore. 200% in like a couple, I don't know, 12 hours. It isn't a thing that you have seen crypto do in a while. And I don't know. I like the founder. Some talent. So that is where we're at. And then last but not least, WTI oil. Bink. Rave. I mean, yeah, but Rave was just like a complete scam. This is like maybe a scam, but not like a scam. Here's oil. Depending on going into Knicks playoff games. Yeah, probably. Here's WTI and here's Brent. And then last but not least, I'm looking at cufflinks because I have this shirt. I don't know what to do with this shirt. I don't know how to like. I'm trying to wear these banker shirts, but they don't have fucking buttons. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Last but not least, because on-chain is doing a little bit of something, we have to check out Asteroid number 1. It looks crazy. Wow. It does look kind of crazy. I can't. Who's in? Is anyone in this or no? Wow. What's Asteroid narrative? I don't know, man. It's the SpaceX logo. Something SpaceX logo. I don't really know, to be completely honest. Staircase up, elevator. No, I'm just kidding. No FUD. There's that, and then I don't know what Mog. Anything else interesting? I guess on Mog, but come on, this thing is. We'll come back to this at a later date, maybe, but come on, not worth. And that is basically where we are at on the market. So okay, I had this take. Like I wrote this in the pit before we go over the war stuff. I wrote this take that I feel like stocks right now, which albeit I'm very new to stocks, so I'm not like the person of authority on trading stocks, but it feels a little bit similar to crypto in 2025, where okay, we just made a new all-time high on the S&P 500, right? On this candle right here. I'm gonna go daily, make sure. Yeah, on this ATH right here. Okay, we made an all-time high on S&P 500, and 12 out of 500 of the names are 52-week highs, which is like alarmingly low. Basically nothing, right? It's like super centralized, super dominated. And so when I think about crypto 2025, it was a very weird year because you had Bitcoin and I believe ETH 5K happened in 2025 make pretty convincing all-time highs. Right? Like Bitcoin went to 126K. Okay. ETH tapped like 5K in 2026. But it was a very weird, or 2025. It was a very weird year because all of the traders were miserable, right? Because if you didn't hold BTC or ETH, which a lot of people on CT just don't hold, or they don't hold it in size, they trade it, they're in, they're out, they hold it on leverage. There's not many people that have a lot of money in spot BTC. And so BTC makes a convincing all-time high, but basically nothing else does. Okay. And it felt like, in my opinion, there was this broad theme of just like a lack of liquidity in crypto because BTC and ETH trade well 2025. On-chain is a ghost town. Memes are crushed. All you hear about is people crying about alt season is dead, alt season is dead, alt season is dead, right? All the alts, all the L1s, all the L2s, completely just, you know, the SWE and the SAYs of the world, and even like the Avis of the world, AVAX of the world, like all these DeFi protocols, all these blockchains are crushed. Okay, but you have ATHs on the majors, and so you would think people would be excited, but most traders don't hold that. But what happened in 2025 was that despite their feeling that like there's this lack of liquidity, it centralized around a couple verticals that fucking ripped really hard. And so if you didn't just hold random spot bags, but you got into the best coins, you did really well. And so correct me if I'm wrong, but the ones that are notable to me was mid-year Pump was a crazy one. I mean, Pump was a crazy trade if you hit it. That was one of my best trades ever. Was Pump, right? It was this there was the Pump trade here. that from bottom to top was like a 4x on infinite size. There was pump, rotate to aster, and perp dexes largely, right? Pump. Then there was aster, which was just like a monster. This isn't the best pair, but there was aster, which was a monster. There was XPL, which was a monster. And so you could go bink, 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 and then a lot of people hit privacy trade was a crazy one. The privacy trade, right? I mean, look at this. Zcash is, I mean, this is one of the craziest. This is 1400% right here on Zcash. It's 1400% on Zcash. And Monero wasn't as good, but it was good. I mean, this was, look, to be fair, it was a crime candle, but from like bottom here, let's go like 25, like April 25, Liberation Day, to top on Monero, 5x, 400%, which was a sick trade. And then the whole year you could hit Hyperliquid. Which bottom to basically top where we're at now. I guess, let's see. Yeah, here you go. So like April 25 to top, 540%. Okay, and so the way I'm like looking at the stocks right now is they feel kind of similar. It feels kind of similar, where it's like, okay, S&P's at all-time high, but only 12 out of 500 names are at 52-week highs. Okay, I use analogies suck, I know, but you could sort of compare alt season being dead, right? Because everyone's like, fuck it, these L1s are worthless. They don't make any money. They don't do anything. Nobody uses them. They're all VC scams. There's unlocks. And there's sort of the underbelly of crypto that had previously been close your eyes, throw darts at it, they go up only. That had been the like alts broadly. You could sort of compare it to SaaSpocalypse, I think a little bit, which has previously been a close your eyes, throw darts at these SaaS companies that go up only and just like hold the barrel, like, I don't know, hold IGV, right? Like hold the basket of it. That's the literal expression. Hold the basket of it and you'll just print. And it just like hasn't happened, right? You get the AI tailwinds, you get the fear around that, you get the, oh, fuck. These actually trade at really high PEs, whatever it is, and you get punished really bad for just like some of these names are down so bad. Like if you just like use like full ported like Adobe or like some of these names, you're done so much on these. It's so you're so crushed on some of these. And it's similar to alts. It's like, wait, how am I down 60% on Adobe, but S&P's at all-time high, right? Or it's like, how am I down 50, 60% on Athena, but Bitcoin's at all-time high? And so there's sort of like similarities there. And then you get this pulling forward of liquidity, right? Like think about what the DATs were. The DAT was like, okay, we have enough demand to send Bitcoin to like 100 or 110. But in order to get BTC to 126, you tap into the DATs. You pull all this like future liquidity forward to spend it right now, and you just fly it as high as you possibly can. Gets to 126. There's sort of like a similar comp, I would say, in what's happening with like the CapEx and the circular spend and all these AI companies sort of like going all in as much money as they could possibly spend on AI, on CapEx, and on like investing in each other. And then there's also this, we're going to talk about this in a little bit, but there's this like retail pre-IPO launch that just happened. Venture capital has an access problem. Most returns from investing in technology companies are in private markets, but the average investor is mostly locked out from that wealth creation. We built USVC to fix this. Anyone can now invest here. It's an Evolve AngelList like spinoff, and it's like, fuck, pull as much liquidity as possible from anywhere forward right now, and let's just like see what we can do on the retail side. And so I don't know, it feels like there's a lot of comms. And so the way I've been trading it as a complete novice stock trader that's been doing relatively well is it feels like if you close your eyes and you get into a basket of things, you're going to get punished really hard. But if you stay patient and rip into these coins or these stocks that have motion on announcements, like you can get like the HIMS pump is familiar to crypto announcement, right? Everybody focuses around plasma. It's the new hot thing. Ride it, rip it, and then it gets destroyed. It feels like familiar to what we've seen in crypto, and I think we're just going to see a lot of that And so that's kind of what I'm sitting here like waiting for the new hot thing with juice that everybody's piling into, being whether it's chip or whether it's on stocks, whether it's HIMS, it was Tau from crypto for a little bit. Because the one thing that we learned about crypto and how these markets trade is even if it's like later cycle, later stage, and there isn't that much liquidity, it can really center around some names and they can fucking rip, man. Like imagine you could be underwater in Adobe and these SaaS names, or like you could be in SanDisk. It's like, look at this, bro. Look at these charts. This feels like Zcash to me. It's like what it was. It just like went way higher for way longer, way harder than anyone could have imagined. Just keeps going and going and going and going and going and going and going. Going and going and going. Like harder, higher, and longer than like this is what semis are. Feels like what privacy was in crypto on a much smaller scale. It just goes and goes and goes and goes and goes. And so I don't know. I wrote in the pit. I was waiting for a meeting, and I wanted to just see what I was thinking about and what I could come up with. And that is sort of where my head is at on some of the stock stuff. Anyways, that's my read. And as we're talking, because we're about to do war updates, we are candling like a little bit here on WTI. So let's do war updates. It'll probably be relatively quick because the market is just shrugging it off. But we've had a couple announcements will go bang, 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 bang here. Also, because I can't stop looking at the chart. Chip. Look at this is insane. Chart looks pretty good. Minus 1,400% funding, bro. Longs are getting. I mean, I'm long. I'm getting fucking paid, dog. And funding, I'm getting fucking paid. I mean, that is an insane number. It's so expensive to be short this thing. That is an insane number. Really. So we'll follow it. I'll cover it near the end of the stream. Also, he's going to be coming on again tomorrow, as I said previously. But okay. Couple announcements from yesterday, couple from today, and this is basically where we're at. So this is a generous headline here. Donald Trump announced an indefinite extension of the Iran ceasefire at the request of Shahbaz Sharif, easing immediate fears of renewed conflict despite stalled negotiations. And so here was the actual post, which statement from President Donald J. Trump. Based on the fact that the government of Iran is seriously fractured and unexpectedly so, and we read this yesterday, but it's worth knowing. Upon the request of Field Marshal and the Prime Minister of Pakistan, we have been asked to hold our attack on the country of Iran until some time as their leaders and representatives can come up with a unified proposal. I have therefore directed our military to continue the blockade and in all other respects remain ready and able, and will therefore extend the ceasefire until such time as their proposal is submitted and discussions are concluded. One way or another, President Donald J. Trump. This is an interesting tweet, actually. This is a response. Is that what you just sent as a response to what we just read? I'll read it here. What do you got? Guys, this may not be the taco you think it is. Let's parse the language. He's tactfully acknowledging the IRGC as normal control of the country and total military control. He's also revealing they are only attempting negotiations with the civilian government, which may not be enough for the IRGC. This is painted as not his idea and keeping up appearances so as not to piss off Pakistan. The fact that he's continuing the blockade and keeping troops in the region ready to go, both of which are a continued violation of the terms Iran has given before they will attend talks. The fact that he left the extension open-ended until talks are concluded, instead of a specified deadline as he usually does, indicates that he could begin the attacks tonight or later this week without appearing to go back on what he said here. Pure speculation, but it looks to me he is trying to lay the groundwork to make a case that the IRGC has done a coup in order to justify an invasion as a liberation rather than regime change. I think there is a very low percentage chance that we get Trump escalation and or strikes into bro, he wants out. He wants out. The market knows he wants out. Every post that he's made indicates that he wants out. I don't know. I at this point you're just forced to listen to the market. At least I feel. I feel forced to listen to the market. Everything I've read from Trump is that he does want to get out. This is crazy. Traders placed $430 million bet on oil decline in the 15 minutes before Trump said he'd extend the Iran ceasefire on Tuesday, the third time this month. I mean, this is just rudimentary at this point. Every time. There's no announcement. Ceasefire, no ceasefire without massive front running. It just is what it is. Loot and Rob from Base 16Z has a very good post on this. It just is what it is. It really just is what it is at this point. He may went out, but we are responsible for the GCC economic downturn. It can't happen. Yeah, we do have some responsibility for the GCC economics. I mean, there's not to say that there isn't going to be a lot of rubble to pick up, but escalation from here just gets nasty. I don't know. I feel like he's got his hits in and he's done. And so this happened this morning at like almost 9 a.m. Iran fires on third ship in Hormuz escalation. Iran's Revolutionary Guard reportedly attacked a third vessel in the Strait of Hormuz, escalating tensions in the key shipping route. The container ship Francesca, owned by Mediterranean Shipping, was targeted while waiting to enter the Gulf of Oman. Followed by Trump willing to give Iran another 3 to 5 days of ceasefire. U.S. source briefed on the matter. It is not going to be an open-ended ceasefire. I mean, basically what he's been doing is deadline, threat, nothing gets done by the deadline, extend. Deadline, threat, nothing gets done, extend. Deadline, threat, nothing gets done, extend. That's the game that he's been playing. It's the game he's been playing. And look, I think you'll drive yourself crazy trying to decipher every Trump post, but it feels like he has a pretty clear stance on this, which is what it would just be a big 180 for him to go in and rip an escalation from this point. And so I do think a little bit of pressure is building. This thing is going on for way too long, and he's maybe starting to feel it a little bit, but it just is a complete switch up in how he's been playing this if we were to escalate from here. Last two posts on the war. We'll go 1 and 2. 1 was this, which the market did pump on, the oil market pumped on. Iran may have placed 20 or more mines in and around Hormuz, which is not ideal. And the second is from Crude Oil 231, who is probably done one of the best public oil traders, I think, from this whole conflict. He's made, I don't know, the guy posted a $15 million P&L a couple weeks ago. He posted a $15 million P&L like casually on his phone. He posted a mobile screenshot on his phone up $15 million on crude longs. And so I have enjoyed reading his posts, and I'll leave you with this on the war stuff, which is that the irony is that we are chasing an ever narrowing window of hope. First, we traded on headlines of ending the war, then it was a ceasefire. After that, we traded on the hope of a partial temporary opening of the Strait of Hormuz, and then we reduced to hoping for just a single round of negotiations. Now we are trading on the expectation of the maritime blockade will be lifted, just so that a single meeting can even take place. As the focus narrows, it drifts further away from the truth and any fundamental change. Yet, we have become more obsessively fixated on these increasingly meaningless details. Looking back, it was almost better 2 weeks ago when the market reacted to the nonsense of, quote, a new era of peace. At least that felt like change. Wow, thanks for the gifted. Now we are further from that than ever, yet trapped in obsession with the trivial. They've done a masterful job in blurring the essence of the situation. All right, here's my sign-off take on a war before I move on to the market. Is one, undeniably, they've done a just emphatic job on blurring the situation. At no point could you ever really tell how out of control it got, if it ever did get out of control, from the market, from the comms, from the press conferences, from the announcements. Very, very, very minimal. Iran parliament speaker and figures of authority in Iran were trying to scream from the rooftops that it was out of control, and everyone in the US was basically like, no, it's not. Don't listen. Look at the market. Everything's fine. And you sort of have to take it at face value. I hope one day when this is all over, because it will be over, somebody comes out and gives the actual story of like how close did it get. Like when Trump makes his post about Hegseth's tweeting, send it back to the Stone Ages. Trump makes the post about blowing up Carg Island forever. How close did it actually get? I don't know if we'll ever know. It really feels like it's not going to happen. I obviously can't say that confidently. But number one is like, you can't deny he's done an incredible job of blurring the situation. And then number two, and the framework mentally that I'm looking at the market, like the lens that I'm using to look through the market now, that I'm done trading oil for now, is the only thing you need that I felt like I needed to know was Trump announces a ceasefire 2 weeks ago or whatever, 10 days ago. The market rallies. The next day, Trump comes out, announces that there was no ceasefire, and in fact, we're not even close. We dip like 1.5%, and then the next day on the announcement that we are now having discussions again about a potential ceasefire, when one was already announced and then broken, ripped us back to a new ATH. It ripped us back to a new ATH, and after 180 days of just like garbage PA, 180 days of just like dog shit PA right here, something like that, 172 days of cannot break out of this ugly, disgusting, curled top, rounded top. In 11 days of green only, we ripped to a new ATH, a convincing new ATH, on news that we might have discussions about a ceasefire after one was already announced and then blown up. To me, that's the only information that I can look at the market through from this point, and it makes me just want to look for long opportunities. I don't know. Market's saying it's not that bad, and so do you just say that it's wrong, or do we just trade with the trend? And that's how I found myself feeling relatively optimistic about where we are right now. So that's my take on the war, and I would like to talk about the market now, more broadly. I don't know, like, how else do you look at it, right? It's like, how else you look at it is like, I don't know. There's a lot of reasons I think to be doomer, or to think it's gotten out of control, or to like feel like you want long oil, but it's just, I don't know. It's not working. So at a certain point, you fight it, or you just play it. And yes, the oil shortage hasn't hit the US, but I was trading oil like a speculative proxy for how in control or out of control the war has gone. I don't understand the supply chain dynamics of oil. And so to like make that, it's just like not going to be a trade I'm going to make. And so at that point, I'll just sit in cash and we'll see. But okay, we have a lot to cover. I want to cover the car short squeeze really bad. I want to read this article. I want to talk about the hot ball of money. I have a sick video I want to watch. I have a lot I want to cover. I'm going to get up really quick. I'll be back in like 30 seconds. And when I come back, we are going to cover some really fun shit. So, all right, BRB, see you in a minute. Try it down.
When the people don't have land, they settle for brands. They want Jesus Polo Sport and Obama again. My foresight is incredible. She pulled a foreskin back like it's edible. Democracy is just a simulation. The government, I just served over $1 billion. I'm loving it. She got light skin nipples, yeah, that's my favorite. Sean White looking like he working for the ages. Wish a white dude would tell me about black lives. Wasn't my choice when my parents got me baptized. Black oppression is a business. I see they want to test me like the litmus. Well, I know we'll be fixing the EQ. I'm just waiting on the day I finally get me too. Cause a nigga did a lot of shit. They say I don't belong in politics.
Came in this bitch just to rip heads off. Ay. Check on your head, now you getting checked off. Jump in the red Porsche, sped off. Put the poodle to your noodle, now you dripping red sauce. I don't listen to your rap, we got too many lies in it. Don't you come to my hood, you wouldn't survive it. They don't fuck with me cause they can't fuck with me. I get it. Would say your girl pussy wet, but that be dry snitching. This time last year I was dead broke. I was one day away from trying to sell clothes. Probably would've messed it up being dead or in jail. Finished sell, yay then yay, hit me on the sale. Like, damn, you the truth, dog. Alley-oop, dog. We can run this whole shit like Dre and Snoop, dog.
Let's fucking get it. Let us fucking get it. Tesla earnings in 45 minutes. Should we watch it? I wasn't gonna watch it. It's like less exciting now that we know what how it went. It's kind of fresh when they like announce it on the earnings call. Maybe we'll watch it. If Elon's gonna speak, I'm down. If Elon's not gonna speak, I don't know. We'll play it by ear. We'll play it by ear. By the way, this thing looks kind of crazy. This is look. I'm not trying to show you bags or anything. I have absolutely no conviction in this whatsoever. But the way this thing is trading, minus 1,400% funding, is kind of, I don't know. It is also, speaking of Elon, this is crazy. It's Tesla, SpaceX. Look at this shit. Elon Musk Tesla converts is that say 2 billion? $2 billion XAI investment to SpaceX equity. They're pulling out all the stops for SpaceX right now. They're pulling everything out to make this thing as valuable as possible. Bro, they're pulling everything out. Everything out. Buying Cybertrucks. They're pulling everything out on this. Everything out on this. It's fucking crazy. Maybe I've been hating too much. Maybe I've been hating too much. It's Elon. I don't know. If anyone could figure out how to fucking make a coin go up, right? Maybe I have been hating too much. All right. I want to talk about the car short squeeze, but maybe first I want to just okay, I want to just go through a couple of these tweets that are like relevant to my take on the market right now. You should ask Elon on stream. We'll get him eventually. Okay, Sisyphus, who by the way has me blocked. Can somebody get me unblock me, bro? He has good posts. It's so annoying. Like, I didn't even deserve the block. I never even engaged with him, bro. I didn't deserve the block. But whatever. He had a good post about this today or yesterday, which I liked. He does have some good posts. I gotta give him credit. He tweets, almost all of the hot ball of money, reflexive speculation that used to be in altcoins is now in stocks. This is part of what happened with crypto, by the way, is the money just moved. Influencers promote stocks. Their followers do basic research via LLMs and follow them in. The companies dump new shares for cash. Everyone wins besides the marginal holder. And so this does play into the thesis of like slam the consensus bet and sort of get out. The entire bubble in photonics is due to a bunch of stock promoters being followed by guys with a bit of cash who don't know that much about stocks. There are companies bidding semi-components making zero money that GPT thinks are bottlenecks, which have repriced 100x in a year. And so this is already playing out, by the way. This like hallucination yield concept is already playing out. How many people actually understand the supply chain bottlenecks of AI? Seriously, how many people really understand it? There cannot be that many. And so what do you do if you don't understand it? You just go to GPT, right? Watching people pile into hymns last week and this week because GPT thinks it's a peptide manufacturer, or some guy on Twitter told you it was one, is also fascinating behavior. Like many of these names, it probably can go up a lot until they issue shares, which is a concept I still don't fully understand. In many cases, management doesn't understand what is happening with their stock for a quarter or two and will be slow to dump on people overpaying for their shares. We actually have a very close comp to these things from last stock market bubble, GME and AMC, which I don't know about you, but I get fired up when I hear this. When I hear people talk about GMC or GME dynamics, I get fired up. I really do get fired up because it feels like with the way things trade now and the access to information, there's just, I don't know, we haven't really had anything near that level. I guess you could argue in crypto, sort of, but not like GME since GME happened. There just hasn't been. Also, GME looks pretty good, I think. This is sort of in line with my prediction for where markets are going, right? If you really think about it, GME is basically the definition of megachurch, right? That's what, I mean, I have it open at all times. It's what megachurch time is. An underexploited edge in today's mimetic financial markets is growth investing in some narrative that will become the one note of the internet that day. This is the GME is like the definition of megachurch. It's like that's like probably where this article stemmed from, right? In the first place. And my argument, at least on making money on the stock side, is that there's just going to be a lot more of these spots with increasing momentum and capital behind them. But would you not close early following megachurch on GME? Well, the thing that makes that one unique is that there's megachurch on an announcement, if you will, right? There's like an announcement of, say, Hims RFK Jr. There's an announcement. It's just like purely an attention. The GME one was unique because it had this structural dynamic aspect to it, right? Where it had this like mega, almost fundamentals on how and where people were positioned and the price impacts of it. And so the answer is, yeah, you probably do close early, especially depending on how much size you can get in. But you want to close early on that. That's not like, I don't want to be on the GME thing, right? Like, you don't want to be. This just charts looks so ridiculous going a shorter time frame. It looks so ridiculous. You don't want to be holding this like up here, right? I mean, like, obviously, yeah, but like, you don't really like want to be up here. And so to me, this is like a slam. Like, I don't know, like if I was actually trading this, like where, which I wasn't. It's like, okay, this thing is trading good, kind of trading good, gets a pump, and then it's like we're off to the fucking races, right? And so this would be a silly like 3, 4, 5x. You have some leverage, you're buying options, and you rip. I mean, like, nobody bought this thing bottom tick to top tick, right? Like, it's not gonna happen. But this is like the definition of a megachurch trade, and you just got to imagine that. Kobe said yesterday on stream, right? He's like, I always imagine crypto would trade more like TradFi, but TradFi is trading more like crypto. And what that means is more of these outcomes. It just does. It's what that means. It means more of these outcomes. So you're at Port ATH? No. I was like kind of close. I was at Port ATH in the summer of last year. And then BTC. I mean, I was at Port ATH in October. I was all in Bitcoin. And then I drew down a lot BTC. And paid a lot in taxes. But GME sales have declined 30% since 2020, but GME is actually cash flow generative because they have so much interest in income from dumping shares for billions in cash. Crazy. 200 million net cash in 2020, 6 billion in cash today, purely from selling shares. Think about that, bro. $200 million in cash in 2020, 6 billion in cash today, purely from selling shares. So business is in a better spot, but stocks in a way worse spot. I remember very similar dynamics in Q1 2021 with Bill Hwang. No way. That's Bill Hwang right here. We're going to watch a video about him. Actually didn't realize he talked about him. Piling billions into shitty companies and similar influencer promoter types getting big followings. Jonah looped in. SPACs trading at wild premiums to par value. Companies like at that time ripped 10x in a few months. You had to brace for a month or two, but worthless companies just cannot sustain multi-billion-dollar valuations. You have to identify the worst of the worst and only short those. And so it's, yeah, I don't know. It's a reasonable read on where we sort of are. It's like there's a lot of really good companies that are doing very well, but they're concentrated. And then there's just this spread of speculative capital that flies into not necessarily garbage, but a lack of fundamentals. And lets these PE ratios get super expanded and just goes mega church. I don't know. It's my favorite. I'm obsessed with it. It's all, I talk about it a lot because it's really all I think about, because I think that that's the one thing that we're really good at is the attention side of things and making money on the attention. Oh, by the way, it's hard to not watch this chart right now just because it's electric. It's like it's candling. Everybody's short. They're closing shorts. A lot of shorts are getting closed. It was just at minus 1,500%. It's minus 500% funding now. Closing a lot of shorts. Wearing sweatpants? No, I have jeans on. Black jeans. So a couple examples of this. Number one is D-Nap. What was the ticker on this? It was crazy. I want to post the chart. You're gonna just continue to see, I think, a influx of influencers with market motion. This is just gonna be a forever up only trend. Twitter accounts that have increased market motion, sort of like anthems of FinTwit, if you will. Number one, who's probably become most hated is, you just like need to have notice on for this account, Serenity, that famous Reddit Wall Street Bets trader now in X. I don't know if anyone has a good take on Serenity. I would like to get him on stream, but he just posts a lot of tickers and they're really low cap and he rips them. Just rips them. Absolutely rips these names because again, there's so much speculative capital sitting on Twitter ready to just strike at any moment. Tesla earnings calls in 25 minutes, I think. This is a Citrini analyst that made a post about this stock. Look at this. LPK, I believe it is. No. Is it IPK? Oh, I'm way too far out. Look at this. Made one post about this stock, LPK, and basically ripped this thing like 215%. Really fast. And this is how it ends weird, right? Like going forward, I will refrain from commenting on small cap stocks. Maybe reflect on whether I intended to or not. My remarks may have had meaningful impacts on the market. Also made me realize my influence may be far greater than I had expected. And I'll approach this issue with greater caution and deep reflection going forward. That's why you deleted your LPK post. Yeah. Yes. And so, I don't know. We're seeing it. And it's setting... You know, Kobe talked about this too yesterday. I asked him, like, what the future is for finance media. And he's like, we're going to see some clavicular type, roaring kitty type, in a bull market, an influencer just get insane, extreme amounts of motion, maybe go to jail, but get this piling of people making money. And the stage is being set a little bit on Twitter. Could be you. You know, like, the illegal part of it aside is I don't know. I just don't like to do the small. Here's the thing that I've accepted is I have no interest in being the reason these things go up. And so I love to talk about the trades that I'm in. And I like to cover what I'm interested in. But a lot of these accounts are like the reason the stocks are going up. It's a weird spot to be. You don't want to be that. You do not want to be the reason it's going up, right? You don't want to be the reason it's going up because then you're responsible for being, what do you do when it goes down? What do you think the closest to that? I mean, that's what Ansem was for, not the jail part or the illegal part, but he was, he had the Midas touch for a whole year, right? Ansem had the Midas touch for a whole year. Murad had it for a while. Ansem whiff in that whole Solana cycle. It evolves. It evolves. Degen Ping had it for like 12 hours. Citrini kind of has it. When's he going back on stream? We can get back on stream. Citrini kind of has it in TradFi. Nobody really has it in crypto because nobody wants to call crypto because nothing's moving in crypto. That's just the actual fact. We're not the reason these things are going up right now, but I do think that we have been hitting trends pretty well. And so the last post on this general market stuff is this guy Pivot922. I like this account. I think this is a good account. And I think this is general sentiment right now. Maybe the ball shifts back, but worth reading. I'm looking over full subsectors on stocks, and dude, I'm very upset with myself for being so distracted with crypto. I totally dropped the ball. Seems like it was totally a 2017 moment, and I was asleep at the wheel. Now I have to dig deep to see how late I am. Probably better off buying a bloodbath on these names if it comes. See, this is the one thing I have no interest in doing. I don't want to be a stock DCA guy at this point in a cycle. Alon, is it actually Alon? I'd be hype if it was. I don't want to be the stock DCA guy at this point. I feel like I'm too late. I feel like I'm too late to be like value buying stocks. I really do. I feel like I'm too late to be value buying stocks, and so I am buying and looking at face ripper stuff. Mega Church, face ripper. This is the shit that I want. So that is what that is. Also, we did have this the other day. Speaking of mega church stuff, I didn't trade it. Did anybody here trade it? BlackBerry up 15% today and seeing momentum, driven by a newly announced collaboration with NVIDIA. Let's see how the stock looks today. I actually took it off my watch list. Look at that. That's a sicko one. That's a sicko one, brother. Pretty clean, like almost 100%. Also, there was this that came out today. Look at this. Spirit. Yeah, here, look. U.S. government could end up owning 90% of Spirit Airlines in a rescue deal. Wall Street Journal says the Trump admin's possible $500 million rescue deal could leave the government with 90% control over Spirit. Howard Lutnick is leading effort in U.S. Spirit talks. BBG reported earlier a potential $500 million rescue loan for Spirit. News of a possible loan emerged last week. So, yeah, look, emerged last week. Let's see. Let's go daily. Buy pressure kind of started like on Monday. Seems people obviously knew. Not insane, but it seems people did know. Shortly after, the Wall Street Journal reported that Trump's admin potential rescue package for bankrupt Spirit Airlines. Be honest, chat. You fly Spirit? I flew Spirit hella times. By the way, it's so cheap. I used to fly Spirit Vegas to LA. It'd be like a $50 flight. It was insane, bro. It'd be like a $50 flight. Spirit's whack. Well, yeah, you got a B, brother. If you got a B, I'd be calling that shit whack too. I'd be flying. I'd be flying private. What? Are you insane? What net worth do you need to fly private, like consistently? Shortly after, 10 mil plus. No, it's more than that. Brother, I think it's more than that. To fly private, 10 mil, no way. Bro, a private flight is like 50K. You cannot fly private with 10 mil. It's like 50K, bro. There's no way you're flying private consistently with 50K with 10 mil. No way, bro. Not much you're making consistent income. There's no way that's Alon. Alon's dumbass not talking like that. Let me see if there's anything else relevant in here. Wall Street Journal. This is insane. Nothing. Anyways. I did fly private 10K from New York to Florida with some friends. Nice. So all in all, full move. We had like a bottom to top. Crazy. Oh my God, actually. This is bigger than I thought. Look at this. 20 cents to like 250 top tick is crazy. Wow. 1,000%er is nuts in like 2.5 days. Now it happened really fast. Like this is a 5-minute chart. It happened pretty fast, but you could even bought top leg. This is cool, right? You could have bought. How do you trade on that? I don't know. I just didn't. It was so low liquidity, low flow. I just didn't. I was late. I didn't trade it. But you could have bought top tick on this, way from the retest and still hit like 26, 27%. But HL doesn't have it. HL doesn't have it, and call premiums were probably so ridiculous, right? Call premiums are probably so stupid. I don't really trade options. I don't really know how to trade options. I'm going to be honest. And so I didn't trade it, but it was a fun one to see. DNAP, what's the link for Tesla earnings? Tesla earnings. Oh, and then BlackBerry was how much? 84%. Yeah, 84%. Options are where the real money is. I don't know if that's exactly true. There's obviously money there. Okay, other announcements that were relevant is one, this. Thank God we got out before this. I wanted to talk about this yesterday, but I didn't really get a chance to it. Let me pull up the YouTube link real quick just to see. We'll watch it when it's live because why not? In 20. Okay, bet. So we have 1,000 people waiting. Thank God we got out of this before this happened, even though I still think it looks decent. But Amazon One Medical launched a national GLP-1 program for weight loss drug patients. Amazon offers injectables starting at $2.99 and oral drugs at $149 per month. Now, from what I understand, Amazon has vamped Hims on announcements like 10 times. But this is like a tough thing to compete with. I don't know exactly what you do. Amazon GLP-1 to compete with Amazon. Amazon One Medical introduces weight management program with upfront GLP-1 medication costs. I mean, they just like own everything, bro. Amazon owns everything. It owns everything. What about like Amazon Hims? If I search Amazon Hims, then I get takes on it. It fucking owns anything. They sell Hims on Amazon, huh? Here. The numbers still favor Hims and Hers resilience. Let's examine the data. Hims and Hers reported $2.35 billion in 2025 revenue, up 59% from 1.48 in 2024. It added 300,000 net subscribers. Trailing PEs are on 55x. Given, thanks for the gifted. That said, risks remain real. Amazon's hybrid model could capture patients seeking integrated monitoring and lower branded margins, pressure profitability. Competition from Walmart's recent GLP-1 program adds further heat. In any case, Hims and Her invested in international markets and new specialties to offset domestic pressures. Damn, Walmart's doing it too? Walmart GLP-1. As of April 2026, Walmart is expanding its Better Care Services platform to provide comprehensive support for customers using GLP-1 weight management drugs. I don't know how you compete if you're Hims. That is tough, huh? Walmart too? It's like every major retailer. What do you do, man? Could have been those great value peptides. Yeah, it is a little weird. I wouldn't really want to take Walmart drugs. I wouldn't want to take Walmart drugs, but like if you're a Hims, you have no patents on any. You have no patents on anything. You don't actually manufacture any drugs. You just are a distributor. It's like, what are you supposed to do? Don't you just lose to these bigger? Walmart customers are a deal for GLP-1. Yeah, they are. Amazon One's medical program hasn't wrecked Hims or Hers upside potential, but it infested the fight by buying care integration matters as much as delivery speed. Till the stock dip reflects headline sensitivity more than fundamentals. Hims and Hers is able to counter with matching pricing from Novo, a massive subscriber base, and a full care model of its own. Yeah, I'm like, I don't know. There will always be a market for bespoke quality. I agree. But if I were to hold my Hims trade for any longer, it was me believing in the business. I just don't think I do. I just don't think I do. I don't know. It's like, what? I did my best to understand it as much as possible in the last couple of days, and it just is so, it's the most easily vampable moat of all time. I don't know. I mean, to be fair, I use it. I am a subscriber of Hims. And I do use it, but it feels like the most easily vampable business in the history of businesses. So maybe we could skim this as well. Like, okay. Someone posted this and went pretty viral. Hims, the best leveraged public bet on AI-powered healthcare. AI is about to collapse the time and cost of developing therapeutics by orders of magnitude. The winning platform is the one with the best combination of scale, trust, and UX. That is Hims. I don't really think that is Hims, by the way. They sold all these like fake GLPs. I don't think it is Hims. It's about to deliver the largest wave of therapeutic innovation in history. The dog cancer vaccine story is not a one-off. Cross biology, AI embedded tools are compressing timelines that used to demand institutional budgets and decade-long trials. We're walking into a world where individuals can use AI to design and test therapies for specific conditions, custom peptides, personalized formulations, and novel compounds proliferate at consumer scale. This is scary, by the way. Imagine the most retarded guy you know running his OpenClaw to compound peptides for mass consumer usage is like really not super do it yourself pills is nuts. Iteration speed inside biotech starts resembling iteration speed inside software. The age of pharma IP is ending. Think from first principles. When inputs to drug discovery become democratized, what happens to the economic value of a patent? It collapses. Fair. Power system drug developers to distribution platforms. Trust distribution UX. There are only 3 credible players. Teladoc, Row, and Hims. But what about Amazon, Walmart, Walgreens, Target, everything else? I don't know. Costco, Kirkland, Kroger, fuck it, right? It's like, yeah, I don't know. Does anyone hold this? I want to like it. I wanted to buy it on spot, but I don't know. I was kind of pussy. I didn't do it. The bottom line. AI is going to mass produce the therapeutics in the next decade. Patents cannot contain that wave. Value accrues to whoever owns the trust, the distribution, and the UX. In public markets, that is Hims. Disclosure, I am long Hims. Yeah. Who's this guy? Daniel Koss. Founder of Edelbridge Capital. Concentrated public equities fund focused on AI infrastructure. Former pro gamer, YouTuber, and serial entrepreneur. Interesting. So that's the Hims thesis. I don't know. Not super convinced. I'm not really interested in buying back into it. But it is what it is. Also, completely off topic, but new Ferrari EVs coming out. 550K. Actually, maybe more. Wait. USD. 645K. Who owns Ferrari? Interesting. Any thoughts on OPG Coinbase AI coin? I don't even know what that is. I'm supposed to know what that is. I have no idea what this is. What is this? No, I don't know what this is. Oh, it's like really low market cap. Yeah, it's really, really, really low market cap. All right, we have 10 minutes until Tesla earnings call, which we'll watch. And then we're going to do the car shorts. I want to read this, though. So the new Apple CEO has taken over, I think, as of like now. Apple looks pretty good. Chart looks kind of insane here. Context. Basically, ATH. Yeah, chart looks nuts. Let's go like daily. There were some nice bids to actually get in on this chart, too. We could have bought this in, I don't know, March. Late March. 11%, not bad. But no, not yet. It's summer, right? Cool. I want to read this, though. Trump made a post about him. He goes, I've always been a big fan of Tim Cook and likewise Steve Jobs. Okay, I actually haven't read this yet. This is an insane fucking post. This is nuts. All right, let me lock in. I've always been a big fan of Tim Cook and likewise Steve Jobs. But if Steve was not taken from planet Earth so young and ran the company instead of Tim, the company would have done well, but nowhere near as well as it has under Tim. For me, it began with a phone call from Tim at the beginning of my first term. He had a fairly large problem that only I, as president, could fix. Most people would have paid millions of dollars to a consultant, who I probably would not have known, but who would say that he knew me well? The fees would be paid, but the job would not have gotten done. When I got the call, I said, wow, it's Tim Apple calling. How big is that? I was very impressed with myself to have the head of Apple calling to, quote, kiss my ass. Anyways, he explained his problem. A tough one it was. I felt he was right and got it taken care of. quickly and effectively. That was the beginning of a long and very nice relationship. During my 5 years as president, Tim would call me, but never too much, and I would help him where I could. Years later, after 3 or 4 big helps, I started to say to people, anyone who would listen, that this guy is an amazing manager and leader. He makes these calls to me. I help him out, but not always, because he will, on occasion, be too aggressive in his ask. And he gets the job done quickly, without a dime being given to those very expensive, millions of dollars consultants around town who sometimes get it done and sometimes don't. Anyway, Tim Cook had an amazing career, almost incomparable, and will go on and continue to do great work for Apple and whatever else he chooses to work on. Quite simply, Tim Cook is an incredible guy. President Donald J. Trump. I mean, bro, that's one of the most insane posts I ever read. Tim Apple. If Steve was not taken from the planet Earth so young and ran the company instead of Tim, the company would have done well, but nowhere near as well as it has under Tim. Bro. What? Oh, man. So this is the new CEO, John Tenris. So B. John Tenris, I hate these posts, but they are helpful. B. John Tenris, or Turnus. 50 years old, mechanical engineering degree from Penn. Built a head-controlled feeding arm as a senior project. Started out working on VR hardware before most people cared about VR. Joined Apple in 2001. And get your first assignment on the cinema display. End up helping lead the hardware behind iPad, AirPods, iPhone, Mac, Apple Silicon, and Vision Pro. Spent 25 years becoming the guy behind most of modern Apple hardware. Become Apple's hardware chief in 2021. Take over Apple's design teams in early 2026. Then get picked to replace Tim Cook as Apple CEO. So here's a report on him. According to the information, Apple's new CEO, John Turnus, he said to have a risk-averse personality. So I heard a lot of people, I heard a Mitt this morning. A lot of people were saying, like, they're bearish on John. I've seen John in real time partner deeply with different parts of Apple. Not just in hardware and product, but across software and operations. Deep partnership where those other people could trust him. Apple's selection of Turnus is somewhat anticlimactic. For months, Silicon Valley has been buzzing about a possible CEO transition at the company, with Turnus as the most probable pick. Some current and former Apple executives were skeptical of his readiness to handle some parts of the job, such as overseeing its operations and government relations functions, which likely explain why Cook is staying involved as executive chair. Others view Turnus as risk-averse, a point of weakness at a time when they believe Apple ought to be making bigger and bolder bets on new products. Has he made a statement? Like a video, or like, has he said anything? I want to watch it if so. John Turnus. Has he said anything? I was hoping Tim would step into the new CEO of Yuga Labs. It's funny. Wait, I want to watch this for a minute. Tesla earnings in 4 minutes. We're going to watch it. Mark Gurman. Oh, this is from January 29th. Wow. From January 29th. Explains why he's the only guy that could become the next CEO of Apple from 3 months ago.
Everyone else on the Apple executive team, late 50s through their mid 60s,
Yeah.
turning 66 this year in the case of Tim Cook. You're Apple's board, you like continuity, you like an insider, you like people who know what they're doing, have been there for a while, they know where the bodies are buried, okay? These guys will have hundreds of millions of dollars, if not more. Yeah, at 50, he's the only one who is, if let's say Tim Cook hangs out another 3 to 5 years, you're not going to appoint another CEO who's 65, 70 years old.
Yeah.
He's the only guy. Apple, they get vast majority of the revenue from hardware. He's the hardware guy.
Yep.
Have they screwed up?
It's like a problem with politics, by the way. It's like you get to the top of the food chain, the only people left are all like 75 and rotting. There's a problem with like the president role in the U.S. So by the time you get that established and that much motion, you're just like old, like really old.
Up any hardware
Becomes like an age thing.
since he's
Trump beats Biden because Biden is not like mentally fit for the role. It's a crazy
Been
problem.
in charge? No, he's a steady hand. He knows what he's doing. He's really the only choice. You know, there was this New York Times report a few weeks ago, basically saying that it could be Greg Joswiak, it could be Eddie Q, it could be Deirdre O'Brien, it could be Craig Federighi. It's for sure not going to be Craig. It's not going to be Deirdre. It's not going to be Eddie. It's not going to be Jaws. The only category that makes sense is an operations person, because you look at the current CEO, Tim, obviously comes out of the ops world. You look at the guy who would have been CEO if Tim Cook didn't stay so long. I'm not saying he shouldn't have stayed so long. He's done, obviously, a fantastic job for shareholders and employees and what have you. Would have been Jeff Williams. He was the COO. So Sabi Khan, he was named COO a few months ago, but he's really been in that job for the last half a decade, I would say. So anyways, it'll be Turnus or Sabi or someone completely out of left field. I don't think this is imminent. So we'll see what ultimately happens, but all signs are trending towards Turnus.
Damn, what a
Everyone has an
sick
opinion
call.
that Turnus is going
What a fucking sicko
to be the
call.
next CEO. Fine. I've been shouting this from rooftops the last 2 years, but no one has given evidence. Like, what is this based on, right? Has there ever been a baton handoff? Is he getting more responsibility?
Well, they have a bit like a big baton.
They've got one of these.
Golden
And
baton.
you know what? You have white smoke coming out of
Sure.
the.
Give
Well,
it to
actually,
you.
no. There's no
no smoke.
It's very environmentally
Friendly, yeah.
So maybe out
Light
of the parking
reflection out of
garage.
the solar panels.
Yeah.
A glint off the solar panel.
Exactly. So what? You want evidence?
Yes.
You want to hear that he's
Yes.
been getting more responsibility? Okay. One, a few months ago,
Who is this guy? Mark Gurman. Breaking news on Apple and tech. Bloomberg managing editor. UMSI. I work at Sun Microsystems in college with a bunch of these guys at Apple and Oracle. Most are unqualified at Oracle. He shares all leaks and rumors. This guy's sick. Damn, he sounds so authoritative on this
he's
topic.
50. Maybe
White
out of the parking
reflection out of
garage.
the solar panels.
Yeah.
Like a glint off the solar panel.
Exactly. So what? You want
What's good, Eli's?
evidence?
Yes.
You want to hear that he's
Yes.
been getting more responsibility? Okay. One, a few months ago, took full control of the Apple Watch engineering team that was co-run with the old
Chat, you have an Apple Watch? Don't lie. Yes or no? Yes or no? I have never owned one. I probably never will, but
COO, still retired. Okay, there's something for you. When they started
no. Damn, a lot of you do. For lifting only, man, I wear jewelry to lift. I don't wear Apple Watches. Damn, a lot of y'all do. Apple needs a smart ring. I would wear the ring, by the way. I would wear the ring. I want the Oura ring, but
soft firing, the head of AI, the guy we were talking about earlier, they took the robotic stuff away from him, gave that to Turnus. And then the real news, as I broke last week, is that even though on paper, Tim Cook is running the Apple design teams, it's not. It's Turnus. He took over at the end of last year for a variety of reasons. But you look at who's run design at Apple over the course of history. Well, like Steve Jobs, Tim Cook himself between 15 and 17, Jeff Williams, who was the number 2 heir apparent for a long time, and then obviously all heard of Johnny Ive.
Yep.
Now you add John Turnus to that list. It's a big sum.
damn, sick call. The Oura ring is losing Aura. Why? How much is it? Should I just buy one? I'm always like wearing people's. Like when I feel like every girl wears it because I'm always like trying to take their rings off and they always have an Oura ring on. I found this happening a lot. I'm always like taking the rings off to try to wear the rings. I don't know, it's just like a tick. And they always are wearing fucking Oura rings. I put it on and we like do my heartbeat or whatever. We get my like blood pressure or whatever. You're so sus. How's that sus? It's like it's looking a sick move, by the way. I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of a sick move. It's kind of a fresh move. I'm just saying. Then you like accidentally like wear it home and you're like, fuck, like gotta see you again to deliver the ring back. Bro, it's a sick move. I'm not gonna lie. It's like, oh wait. You can figure out your sleep. I want to know my sleep health. All right, put it on. Okay, cool. I'm checking my blood pressure. I'm checking my BPM. I'm checking my body. Whatever you could see on them, but it never actually calibrates. And so I leave it on for like 23 years. It never calibrates, so I have it on for a while, and we're like looking over each other's shoulder, trying to get the data on. Like it's a whole little thing. If you do it on every girl, it's like he says, I don't do it on every girl, but if she has an Oura ring on, how many of you collected? It's like, no, bro, I don't do it on every girl. But if she got an Oura ring on, I'm coming for it. Obviously, I'm coming for it if she's got one on. I kind of want one. To Google Oura ring. Google is making an. Bro, this is an original take on God. You're what? By the way, I'm smooth. By the way, I'm smooth. Like maybe despite whatever take you may have, I'm very smooth. So Google bought Fitbit. Google's not making it so smart ring with reports in late 25. The company paused development on such a wearable. Do you have a GF? No. For all the beautiful women that watch stream, I actually don't. So I agree that it's shocking that I don't. But I don't at the moment. All right, well maybe tap into this like later. I think we'll watch it when Elon's on. I don't want to just like listen to this Tesla ass music. Has a football size roster though. Football size roster is nuts. That's 52 players, brother. I'll just say this before we get back into the stream. I'll take a quick break here. Why are you single? What do you mean, why am I single? What does that mean? What do you mean, why am I single? What kind of question is that? I don't know. I'll say this before I get back into the locked in again. I've been gesturing crazy recently. I've been doing things pretending to be interested in conversations that I've never thought I would be interested in. I know all about heated rivalry. Okay, I'm caught up on all the shows. I'm caught up on all the shows. Everything. Heated rivalry. Ask me about it. I'm caught up on everything, bro. Like I've been gesturing at a level that's just like fucking ridiculous. Yeah. I had to watch that show because of my GF. Yeah. So I'm fucking all over the place right now. All right, here's what we're gonna do. Elon think it's probably gonna take a while. This is what I'm most interested in right now. I want to talk about the car short squeeze. I want to talk about the car short squeeze. I want to talk about it right now. Still hitting the gym. Yeah, bro, I am. But like, the stronger I've gotten, the more like single I've gotten, and so yeah. Man, are you gonna come on stream, by the way? All right, let's do car short squeeze. Let me get up. I'm gonna get up one more time real quick. Second time in 2 hours. That's fine. BRB. We'll be back in a second. Rasmus Long Trump. Like Trump coin? What do you mean? Trump? Is that what you're talking about? Trump coin? Like the meme coin? Or like DJT? Watch the clip. Who posted it? I'm about to fry this dude, bro.
Fuck.
Oh my god, I don't want to watch this shit. God.
Out of every fucking coin.
Why do he say it like that? Why does he say it like that? It's like, does he want me to laugh at it or take it seriously?
Out of
Mega poor retard version of thread.
every fucking coin last.
Every coin? Every coin?
Out of every fucking coin last cycle that launched last cycle, Donald Trump's coin, Trump coin, is the most talked about by a mile. There is no TGE that happened in the 2024 bull run, 2025 bull run, I guess it happened in January, that is more discussed than the Trump coin. It is in everyone's minds all the time. Every launch, people are like, could it be another Trump? Will we ever get another Trump again? Trump. It's the
J-Led, what the fuck, man? You're in this chat right now? We're streaming. He just posted this. You're in the. I just read your name. What the fuck, J-Led? What? What is that? I feel Rasmus alive by mistake. Come on, man. That's my boy you're talking about. That is an insane message. By the way, Yeet's biggest star is right. I see Yeet everywhere because of Rasmus. No troll.
ever get another Trump again. Trump. It's the name that you hear all day. Trump this, Trump that, Trump this, Trump that. Trump. You're telling me Trump coin can't go up fucking 2x from here, bro, at the lows? Don't mid-curve this shit, brother.
What?
This shit, brother. Coin can't go up fucking 2x from here, bro, at the lows? Don't mid-curve this shit, brother.
Bro, what?
I'm just saying, like, it's the single biggest TG.
What was that thesis? Cordy also posted it. What was that thesis? Dog, what?
Digital liquid meme font. As you can see, 3 of the 4 coins listed below are
Market going for potential. What is this? Major announcement on April 25th. What day is it today? April 22nd. On April 25th, 2026, Mar-a-Lago Trump coin. Oh, is this real? Oh, man. Who's it follow? How do I see like Trump meme coin unlock schedule? Damn, how do I no data for it? Whatever. I'll try to figure this out later. That'd be really funny. Or maybe Basari has it. Oh, 2025. Oh, I was about to laugh so hard. It says 2025. Oh my god, I was about to fucking geek. It says 2025. Wow, that was about to be so funny. Huh. Never mind. That was gonna be really, really, really good. Wow, that was gonna be so good. I wanted that clip so bad. Is there like a bet? Is there a cleaner way to see this? I'm on like Masari AI. What is even happening? Masari Copilot. What am I talking to? Future unlocks. Shout out to Masari, man. Oh, no way. Help build this thing. Tulip King, ask it to I don't want to sign up. Wait. Here. No, it doesn't seem to be some like major unlock. It's just like they're unlocked daily. Yeah, they're unlocked daily. All right, let's talk about car. I want to talk about car. Craziest chart I've seen in a while because I want to watch this video so bad. Also, wait, let's real quick check in on Tesla. Are they doing anything interesting at all?
Show it off. We're also a little hesitant to show V3 off because we find our competitors do a frame-by-frame analysis whenever we release something and copy everything they possibly can. So I think there's some value to, not showing new technology until it's close to production. Congratulations to the Tesla AI chip team for taping out AI5. That's going to be a great chip. I think probably the best AI inference chip for edge compute that exists, and certainly unequivocally the best value for money.
I've been saying that a lot,
The
unequivocally.
team did a great job, and we're already have a lot of momentum for designing AI6, and we've begun to discuss ideas for Dojo 3. So this is all very exciting. We've also finalized plans for the
Elon
chip.
How are you going to refinance the debt, Elon?
The research chip fab on the Giga Texas campus, and we'll start construction of that this year. In conclusion, Tesla is working on a lot of large, ambitious projects. They're all very, very challenging, but I think they're going to be revolutionary.
Damn.
This is what the
Do you
team
guys
does
watching the
best, solve
chart?
the hardest problems and build amazing products. And I'd like to thank the Tesla team for all their hard work, and thank you to all of our supporters.
Great. Thank you very much, Elon. And Vebov also has some opening remarks.
Thanks,
That was
Travis.
it?
So 2026 has had an interesting start, not just for us, but I think the world in general. On the autos business, we have seen a resurgence in demand in EMEA and certain countries like France and Germany showing
What
over
about the chat? The
150%
chat.
quarter-over-quarter growth in deliveries.
No.
In APAC, we witnessed growth in South Korea and Japan, again in terms of deliveries. Even out here in the US, we've seen a slight growth in terms of quarter deliveries. On the order backlog
He sounded
front,
tired,
we
man.
ended the quarter with the highest Q1 order backlog in over 2 years. Whilst the recent
Do no research.
increase in
615
gas
gifted.
prices has had a positive impact on the order rate, this improvement started before the
Damn,
uptrend
man.
in gas prices. This is due to the work done by the Tesla team in bringing more compelling and affordable vehicles to market.
This is the trap version of Twitter
10
Spaces,
years
and it
back,
never is
when we
bullish.
launched Model 3 in the US with
It's
the promise
never
of
bullish,
35,000
bro.
starting price, which if you adjust today for inflation translates to about $48,000 in today's dollar terms. The starting price of Model 3 today is way less than that, while the product is way more compelling from where it started. Given this setup, we're focused on increasing our overall production
36K?
volume, something that we already started in Q1.
It's not crazy.
This volume increase is evidenced by the Giga Berlin reaching a record output of over 61,000 units in Q1. We plan to keep growing volumes further, not just in Berlin, but across all our factories. Our biggest limiter continues to be our battery pack capacity, and
That's
we're
not
actively
crazy.
working on resolving that. Auto margins, excluding credits, improved
All right.
sequentially from
Can't do
17.
this. Can't do it. Absolutely cannot do it. But who chat? Does it? Do you drive a Tesla? What's the like Plaid? Tesla Plaid. I want one of those. Do you drive a Tesla or no? Tesla Plaid. How much? She wanna hang on it. I mean, 1,000 peak power is crazy. Horsepower is nuts. It's a lot. That's a fucking. Dude, somebody in the chat was typing it, bro. What are you talking about? What do you mean after the Bro, somebody in the chat typed it. Like, what do you want me to do? Not sing it? All right, let's talk about the car short squeeze. I want to talk about this because this is something I'm gonna be honest. I don't know that much about like how this works, like the short squeeze dynamics. I don't really understand it that much. I want to understand it. I really want to understand it. And there's a video I really want to watch. I want to watch this video so bad. So fucking bad. I want to watch this video. And so whatever we have to do to get to this video, we're going to do. And so I don't know. I've read this like 5 times trying to fully understand it because it'd be nice. Like, I don't know. First of all, did anyone trade this? Has anyone traded this? One of the craziest moves I've seen in a while. We went up, I don't know, fucking 800%, give or take. And then down like 50% intraday today. 37%, but top to bottom is down 50%. And I think all things considered, there was not that much coverage on this thing on Twitter. But I don't know. This is like a fucking mega church of all mega church trades. And I just did not pay that much attention to it. I used to trade car bonds and CDs. How much do you know about this, Mando? Company nearly went bankrupt with HTZ and COVID. Interesting. How much do you know about this? You didn't long Trump. Are you insane? CDS. Short yesterday closed and closed at 600 today. Nice trade. Ben Pasternak went to jail. Please check. Stop. Dude, I don't want to search that. Are you serious? Come on. Stop. That did not happen. Breaking news. First chat. There's no way that happened. Stop. This is so fake, bro. I'm not showing this on the screen. Go on Evelyn Haas subreddit. Dude, this is not real. Hold on. Ben Pasnick news. No, it's not real. God, that was a brutal first tweet. Oh my God. It was like a fucking... Whoever posted that is fucked. All right, let's just like read this. Let's just like read this. Maybe Mando will do a call and tell us about it, but let's just read it. All right. Car short squeeze. I want to watch this video really bad. All right. First, let me begin with this. This has felt different to me than any short squeeze in recent history. I've not touched this name once so far, as it deeply reminded me of what how do you pronounce it? Archegos? Architected a few years back, which was structured Archegos. What Archegos architected a few years back, which was structured via swaps. A quick tell to me, which reminded me of Archegos, was the subtle fact that we did not gap up once during this entire move higher. Something I found very odd back then as well, Archegos. By the way, that is true. There's no gap up here at all. It's just candle. It's just like the cleanest PA of all time, basically. This looks like a Telegram sticker. Up to this point, this looks like a Telegram sticker, brother. Archegos. I thought I would dig into it and give you a perspective over my findings as I prepare to make my way back to the office after a wild couple days in California. By the way, I've heard some stuff about this short bear guy. I've heard he's one of the best. Really, I've heard this guy's one of the best. I'm a big fan. Archegos refresher. At its peak in March 2021, Bill Hwang's through Archegos Capital Management managed roughly $36 billion in personal assets, but controlled a massive, highly levered portfolio with an estimated $160 billion in exposure to equities. Using total return swaps, Hwang built concentrated massive positions, sometimes owning over 50% of outstanding shares in companies, mainly through the positions described as below. The swaps and related gains would be used as collateral for other banks to lend more, and in the end, creating a spiral of leverage, creating fuel for a short squeeze as the floats seized up. So he's just like looping, right? He's just like looping, more sides. Long, borrow against the position, long, borrow against the position, long, borrow against the position. More on Archegos via, we'll look at this after. Oh my God. We'll see what we can do there. Damage to Hwang's investments. Wow. Not gonna lie, short on car could be Jenny. Well, I mean, look, you missed 50% of it. Okay, car ownership structure. Some might tart to wonder why I bring up Archegos. Simply put, we're seeing a swaps-based dynamic once more. Where is the main swap holders coming from? The same birthplace as Bill Hwang, Tiger Global. Sick name. Two major derivative squeezes in a few years, all from the same shop. That said, let us dissect it. SRS Investment Management has held Avis for more than a decade. Karthik, Tyler Global alum, who founded SRS in 2007, built the position roughly from 5% in 2013 to 49.3% of shares. Jesus. 49.3%. Outstanding through a combination of open market accumulation, put exercises, and long-term conviction. Avis is the fund's largest holding at roughly 20% of the book. Okay, so 20% of their fund is in this stock, and their position is 49.3% of the company. In September 2025, SRS amended its corporation agreement with Avis to raise the voting cap from 35 to 45%. Above 45%, SRS's excess shares must be voted in proportion to the other shareholders. The fund already sits through the cap at 49.3%. SRS's 2.9 million cash held swap position has been stable since November 2022. November 2022, bro. And we're like November 2022. It's like here. God damn, it's been a thing for a fucking while. It is, or at least does not seem opportunistic. The swap exists specifically to extend economic exposure past the voting cap without breaching the cooperation agreement. Closing the swap means either forfeiting the exposure or placing it with common stock that immediately bumps into the voting cap mechanism. That makes the dealer hedge sitting against SRS's swap roughly 2.9 million shares on the prime broker's balance sheet, one of the stickiest supply holes in the name. It is not returned to the float. So this time around, the holders are legally moving the stock and disclosing it as well. So why is it squeezing? So they own 29 or 49.3%, 10-year plus conviction holder. Pentwater Common is 22. Pentwater has 22.2. Event driven, not selling into strength. Insiders have 1.6. So we're saying implied public float is 27%. So low float, high FTV. Passive mutual funds have 8.8. Active float is like 18.1. Dealer swap head shares is 31 to 37%. So the second swap holder, Pentwater Capital, led by Matthew Halbauer, is an event-driven. By the way, I love this. I was reading about this today. Event-driven and merger arbitrage fund. What a sick fucking name. It's an event-driven, Pentwater Capital, an event-driven and merger arbitrage fund. The Avis position is a recent build, going from 2.95 million shares in August 25 to 7.1 by March 20 through a layered derivatives book that's doing more than buying stock. The March 20 Form 4 is instructive. Pentwater exercised short puts at strikes of 110, 120, 125, and 130 to acquire common stock, meaning they had sold those puts earlier, pocketed the premium, and were obligated to buy shares when the puts expired in the money. See, this is like, fuck, I want to start running positions like this, where I'm selling puts, letting them expire, using it to buy the stock in the month, like to build fucking 30% of outstanding shares. Separately, short calls they had written at strikes of 150 to 310 expired worthless during the run-up, leaving Pentwater with the full premium. Every put exercise forced the counterparty dealer to deliver shares. Every short call expiration left the dealer unwinding a delta hedge that had been short gamma all the way up. Both dynamics pulled supply out of the tape and fed the move. Pentwater files as a 13G passive investor, not a 13D. The 13G framing preserves optionality. If they flip to 13D with an activist agenda, which makes what's the difference between 13G and 13D? 13G versus 13D. 13D is for active investors seeking to influence control, due within 5 days, while 13G is a streamlined short form filing for passive investors. Got it. Tesla dumping. Wow. Retrace the whole earnings move. Let's keep going though. Remember the Porsche and Volkswagen saga about 2 decades ago here. A true short squeeze through a surprise holder becoming obvious in the moment. The real capital structure. Okay. Wherever I look, I see people talking about the short float being about 25% of the float. Yet everyone seems to be ignoring the derivatives and their effect on the float. The short float might be correctly reflected, yet the float is not. Here's my estimation of the real cap table. Defiance Capital shorting chip. Are they? Who posted that? Who's Defiance Capital? Is that Arthur ZOX? Wait. Just because it's important. No post. No post. All right, let's keep going. The flow is completely locked. Pre-ATM, post-ATM, doesn't matter. The shares don't put a dent in what actually needs to be delivered. Shorts are fighting against the exposure the swaps and the short puts created. Okay, we're basically done. The ignition. This is where I want to do the ignition. Structural tightness have been in place for months. The flow was always this tight. Short interest of 8 to 9 million had been building since late 2025 when Avis's EV fleet write-down made the name look like an easy short. Leverage, cyclical, secular pressure from Turo and rideshare. Balance sheet getting worse, not better. How's Turo? Is that public? Turo. The spark was a federal funding lapse in February. This is crazy. They left TSA officers working without pay. By late March, security lines in Atlanta, Chicago, and other major hubs were running 3 to 4.5 hours. Travelers swapped flying for driving. Hertz and Avis both ripped on the demand shock narrative. Avis went from $94 on February 20 to $139 on March 26. It wasn't the cleanest trade, though. Like, from February 20, yeah, I guess it kind of was. I think this went into place on February 14th, though, right? TSA shuts down February 14th. This thing is at like 120. It goes down as low as 86. That was kind of gnarly. And then just rips a fucking squeeze of all squeeze. Respectable, perhaps fundamentally driven move. The Middle East tensions and a move in crude added a second tailwind to the drive don't fly story. But by mid-April, fundamentals had stopped driving the tape. Shorts were trying to cover into the float that didn't exist, and each wave of covering triggered the next. God, so everyone's just fucking short. Massive demand, fly don't drive, everyone's driving, and then pop. Between the sold puts, the derivative, and the short float, no shares were left untouched to deliver the needed shares. The put sold ladder from at 110, 120, 125, and 130 by Pentwater locked the float. After the moment, there was no more float to talk of. The net effect was at least another 2.8 million shares that needed assignment, fully locking the float. Avis had given a warning in early November 2021, experienced an epic short squeeze with shares soaring over 100% in a single day. Driven by strong Q3 2021 earnings, the meme stock frenzy and over 20% of the float being sold as the named cause. Pentwater joined in 2025, creating the nail in the coffin in dynamic change. This is basically the conclusion. Bottom line, even if 100% of the ATM went towards covering shorts out, we would still be missing 4 million shares to deliver. Even in an aggressive 40% scenario, we're missing 7 million shares. People were blindly shorting this, not understanding the dynamic while focusing on the shorts. The real dynamic was different. I have not seen one correct breakdown. Do not blow up because you lacked the will to do the needed due diligence. Wow, this is fucking crazy. What a move, man. And so the same fund, Tiger Global, I believe, Archos. This Bill Hwang guy lost $20 billion in 2 days. It's a Bloomberg original. I think it's related. I think it's fairly similar, and we have to watch it. Brother, we have to watch it. 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 Wait, let me just do this real quick for fun. It's like I'm gonna ask Claude before I watch it, because I still don't like fully understand this. I'm not gonna lie. I just wish I could figure out how to catch it while it was happening. Can you summarize? This as tight as possible and make sense? I wish we caught it while it was happening, bro. I like how Geek TG gets for Bloomberg Originals, one of us, bro. They're so fucking good. Yeah, I did see that, by the way. Jane Street's in the trade now. I saw Zero Hedge, who's like Jane Street's #1 hater. Okay, here's the summary. It's not a normal short squeeze. No, make it simpler. Make that shit simpler, bro. Yeah, the Grim Reaper. Everyone's just like terrified of Jane Street. Okay, here we go. Two big funds, SRS and Pentwater, on a huge chunk of Avis through swaps and options, not just regular stock. Swaps and options still force someone, the bank on the other side, to hold real shares as a hedge. Those shares are locked up. They can't trade. Short sellers saw Avis looking weak and piled in, betting it would fall. They thought 25% of the shares were shorted against a normal size pool of available stock. They're wrong about the pool. The available stock number was, everyone was quoted, ignored all the shares tied up, hedging those swaps and options. The pool was really tiny. Got it. So there's hardly any float. Then in a real world event lit the match. The TSA shut down. Drive don't fly. Stock went to from 94 to 140. Once it started moving, shorts tried to buy back shares to cover their bets, but there were no shares to buy. Every time they tried, the price jumped. That forced more shorts to cover. On top of that, Pentwater had sold puts at 110 and 130, which meant when the stock rose, the banks on the other side had to deliver even more shares into an empty market. It's basically Archos 2021 again. The same mechanics, same Tyler Global lineage. Stock doesn't gap up. It just grinds relentlessly higher because the shorts are trapped in a box with no exit. Got it. And so they're saying it's the same mechanics. The last time we saw this was 2021. Archos from the Tiger Global lineage. And that is this, which I want to watch so fucking bad. He lost $20 billion in 2 days. We have to watch it. We have to watch it. We have to watch it. We have to watch it.
It is my great joy and privilege to introduce Bill Hwang.
Can we please welcome Bill Hwang up here?
20 billion.
Please welcome Bill Hwang. question of who is Bill Hwang is one that everyone seems to be asking right now. Here's someone who really was not on anyone's radar, and yet he was ranking among the world's wealthiest people. But now Bill Hwang and what has happened to his firm will likely go down in 2021 as one of the most remarkable stories of the year, not just because of the rapid rise, but the even faster implosion.
I've honestly never heard of this guy.
He was an outsized influence in financial markets, but almost nobody had ever heard his name, and nobody had ever heard the name of his firm, Archos Capital Management.
This whole situation to me is like a string of, are you effing kidding me?
How could that many prime brokers be so dumb as to lever up one guy all on the same stocks?
It really is every bank for themselves at this point.
It was this one family office that caused so much mayhem. It was Bill Hwang's personal fortune, which he had built into a firm that was pretty sizable in the market.
One way to measure this fiasco is by adding up Bill Hwang's losses, $20 billion, to the $10 billion that the banks have lost. In total, you've got $30 billion wiped out in the space of a week. Investors on Wall Street lose money all the time. But Archegos is almost unique in financial history because of...
I hope they include a bit about him investing according to the word of God. I basically do that. I go long, then I pray.
The size of the positions that a single individual accumulated and the speed with which it unraveled. This is one of the most spectacular failures in modern financial history.
Holy fuck.
No individual has lost so much money so quickly.
My entry point to the Archegos story was Goldman Sachs. Very early on, Goldman emerged as a seller of almost $10 billion of securities on a Friday, dumping stock onto the market in a way that was exceedingly rare, almost unprecedented. And anytime I see the name Goldman Sachs, I'm always curious. And so I went down the Goldman Sachs rabbit hole and found out some interesting details about Goldman's relationship with his firm Archegos and the man behind it, Bill Hwang.
It really goes back to the final days of March when you had this frenzy of block trades hitting the market. There were a bunch of big Chinese tech names, US media conglomerates, and across the board we were seeing the stocks falling. Everyone in the market was trying to figure out what the heck was going on. Bill Hwang's background is very different from anyone else that you've heard of at the pinnacle.
He did that shit,
Bill
bro.
Hwang's background is very different from anyone else that you've heard of at the pinnacle of Wall Street. Here's someone who grew up in a family of modest means in South Korea. His father was a pastor. He was assigned to a church in Las Vegas, and Bill Hwang and his family moved to the United States when he was about 18 years old in 1982. Within a few months of his arrival, his father passed away. He used to work night shifts at McDonald's.
And it was on his mother's insistence that he go to college, that he attended UCLA and subsequently earned a business degree at Carnegie Mellon. Back in the late 80s and early 90s, it wasn't so easy to get to Wall Street if you were an immigrant. He couldn't get a job at Goldman Sachs. He couldn't get a job at Morgan Stanley. Yet his dream...
I missed my era, bro, in the pits, man. Fuck!
...was to come to New York City. So Bill Hwang ended up taking a job at Hyundai Securities. And he turned out to be a very good securities salesman at Hyundai Securities because he caught the attention of Julian Robertson. Julian Robertson is the famous hedge fund manager who founded the powerhouse firm Tiger Management. And so Bill Hwang became a Tiger Cub. The term Tiger Cub is used to describe the former employees, disciples, if you like, of Julian Robertson.
Anyone who sort of worked with Julian Robertson had great success under him and then was able to spin out and start their own hedge fund or their own investing firm came to be known as the Tiger Cub. Julian Robertson seeded Bill Hwang's hedge fund, and that's what gave Tiger Asia its start.
Bill Hwang's hedge fund, Tiger Asia, was a very, very successful firm. At one point, it managed $10 billion.
What if my ending is just to run a fund? Is that just my ending? Is that just how my story ends or starts?
Tiger Asia crossed the line between a group.
Chat, be honest. Would you fund my fund? Like, would you LP my fund? Be honest. Don't lie. Would you LP my fund?
Aggressive and illegal. In 2012, securities regulators across the world accused.
Dude, are you guys serious with this Ben Pasternak shit? Come on. It's like the third It's a coin or what is this? What is happening? Come on, man. No, it's not real. It's not real. Go away.
the firm of insider trading, Bill Hwang had to plead guilty on behalf of his hedge fund for wire fraud.
He had to shut down Tiger Asia.
But after he settled that and he shut down his hedge fund, he started Archos.
Archos is what's known as a family office. It's an investment firm managing money for an individual, in this case Bill Hwang, but instead of trying to start a new hedge fund with a taint of a securities violation, he would take the money that he had, something north of $200 million at the time, and invest his own money, hire his own analysts, do his own work, and make money that way instead of having to make money for clients. And he was incredibly successful. He did a couple of things that worked very well in his favor. The first was he invested in tech stocks. He rode the decade-long boom in firms like Amazon, LinkedIn, Expedia,
Netflix, Facebook, Google.
Doesn't seem that hard.
The other thing he did, increasingly, was use borrowed money. On Wall Street, it's called leverage.
He had borrowed a lot of money, and that
On Wall Street, it's called leverage.
meant his gains were exacerbated, and he then plowed them all back into the same bet. That by the end of it, you had someone who had taken a fortune that started at a little over 200 million, and in under 7 years had taken it to over $20 billion.
Jesus says, I'm the bread of life. If you come to me, you will never be hungry again.
They're just like average
Bill
crypto
Hwang
trader.
was someone who was devoted to his church, who was focused on the idea of spreading the word of Christ.
Your people will be my people, and your God will be my God.
He believed that by investing in these companies, he was advancing society.
This is me at
on
Bible
behalf
study
of
next
God.
week.
My company does a little bit of our part, bringing the fair price to Google's stock price.
At Bible study. At Bible study, bro.
Does a little bit of our part, bringing the fair price to Google's stock price. Is it important to God? Absolutely.
Is it important to God? Absolutely. Come on.
In some ways,
bro.
he was able to find a justification for all his wages to stick with
Bro, that clip is nuts.
them and to double down on them, irrespective of
Me longing Google on 5x leverage with 200 million is important to God.
not being mindful of the hedges he would have had to have in place. He talks about this idea that everyone else on Wall Street is burdened by the thought of being powerful and having too much money. And he says he doesn't feel it. He says he's not afraid of death or money. He says, I am just following God's word, and that is truly a fearless way to invest.
God, okay. I wonder how this ends, right?
He didn't live large. He didn't have a penthouse apartment in New York City. He didn't have a fancy vacation home in the Hamptons. He lived a relatively modest life in suburban New Jersey. He drove a Hyundai SUV.
This is really a grown-up version of someone you will see on Wall Street Bets or Robinhood. This is someone who really likes a stock or two or three, would bet on it and stick with it and not worry about anything else. There was no complicated investing strategy here.
God has clearly showed us.
Dude, this is so ridiculous. I'm not trying to be a dick. This is so ridiculous, though. I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm not. I'm really not trying to be a dick, but this is insane.
What money does in a positive way.
Here, someone was completely driven by faith, who completely believed in the right of what he was doing. And
The narrators are basically like, yeah, he was retarded. He had no interesting strategies. He did nothing unique. He did nothing cool. Took a lot of leverage and prayed a lot.
allowed that to become the driving force, not allowing any sort of distraction for self-doubt or
Amen.
even second thought in what he was doing. And that proved to be his undoing.
On the afternoon of March 22nd,
Thank you.
Viacom CBS announced a stock and convertible bond sale. The company wanted to raise $3 billion.
Here was a stock Bill Hwang was really invested in. He had a huge outsized position in it. Every time the stock moved up, he would throw more money into it, and the stock would keep going up and up and up and up.
Instead of helping the stock, this stock sale hurt the stock terribly. The following day, Viacom CBS went down 9%. On the Wednesday, it went down 23%. With the stock declining that far that fast, it forced a margin call. A margin call is a demand by Wall Street firms for more collateral. If you've borrowed so much money that all of a sudden there's no equity left after a stock drops that quickly, the firm will demand more collateral. If Bill Hwang has no money left or refuses to put up any further money, the dealing firm takes over his position. The Wall Street dealers pleaded with Bill Hwang to sell some stock so that he would at least survive. He might take some losses. From $20 billion, he might go down to 10 or perhaps even less, but he would live to fight another day. And Bill Hwang refused.
If it was just one bank making the demand, that might have been fine. When all his banks made the same demand, you knew you had a problem, and really, that was the beginning of the end for Bill Hwang.
You're telling me this guy blew up $20 billion because the stock he held went down 25%. That's the story. Seriously? 25% on one name is fund is wiped. What are you saying? What are you talking about? 25%? Bro, what are we talking about?
Any fortune built on borrowed money is standing on a shaky base. A gust of wind could threaten it. In the case of Bill Hwang, he was facing down a hurricane.
25%?
Names that he had plowed billions of dollars into were moving against him. And he never had any effective hedge. The banks had started to panic, they had loaned him a lot of money, and they were demanding that he needs to post a lot more cash. Otherwise, they would have to terminate the agreement and liquidate his portfolio. He did not have enough spare cash lying around, and they did have to cut their ties and liquidate his entire portfolio. In the end, Bill Hwang lost it all. But not just that. The banks that had lent him money, they also lost quite the fortune.
Think of Archos as a burning building and its bank lenders as the people trapped inside.
Bro, this is like the worst story of all time. This is actually the worst story I've ever heard. 25%? What are you talking about? It's like such a bad story.
The moment one of those people, one of those banks makes a break for the exit,
it's terrible.
All hell breaks loose.
You had someone like Credit Suisse losing $5.5 billion, Nomura in Japan losing in excess of $2.5 billion, and yet you had banks like Goldman Sachs, Wells Fargo, Deutsche Bank, who seem to have escaped this largely unscathed.
In total, you've got $30 billion wiped out in the space of a week. The last person out of the burning building is the one who always sustains the greatest damage. In this case, that was Credit Suisse.
It was only in the days after that that we were able to piece together what really happened and the root cause behind it all.
A whale is Wall Street.
Seems pretty fucking simple to me.
Slang for someone who wields outsized influence in financial markets. It's like...
By the way, when I come on stream and I say these are beatable ass markets, this is what I'm talking about.
Looking at the ocean and seeing a glass-like surface, but under the surface is this enormous, enormous creature. That's what Bill Hwang was like to Wall Street. He was an invisible whale. Almost nobody had ever heard his name, and nobody had ever heard the name of his firm.
And that all goes back to this financial instrument that he used, which was swaps. Now, what are swaps?
Swaps are a type of derivative that allows you to effectively remain invisible. Instead of your name showing up in securities filings, it's the name of the firm you're dealing with that shows up. So it could be Credit Suisse, it could be Goldman Sachs, it could be Deutsche Bank.
It's the banks that appeared as the stockholders, and he was the one benefiting from the move in the price of the stock. And that would allow him to remain anonymous through that process.
The people familiar with Archos, both its accounts and its positions, spoke to us on the condition of anonymity because they weren't authorized to comment.
We don't really have a good idea what Bill Hwang has left. We know he's got a suburban home in New Jersey. We know he drove a Hyundai. Presumably he's still got that. But we're not aware of any other investments that he may have had. But with so little...
Presumably he still has a shit SUV is what the guy just said. That's fucked. It's like he didn't have a lot of stuff. He drove a Hyundai. Damn, man. Hyundai makes nice cars.
Little financial disclosure available. It's very difficult for anybody to have a really solid idea of what Bill Hwang has left after this collapse.
The only saving grace, perhaps, from this entire fiasco is that we really haven't seen a systemic problem. We really haven't seen banks en masse pull back risk, expose more hedge funds to the problems, and see more dominoes falling. However, what is the lesson that we all learn from what happened to Archos? So far, the prime brokerage business...
Basically, this whole thing was that he was retarded, terrible trader, got lucky, he drove a Hyundai. And now he's a mega poor, is basically what
hadn't
they
been
did.
top of mind for regulators, hadn't been top of mind for politicians, but you've had both entities jumping into the fray for now demanding answers, for now trying to figure out how stable and sound the system was. You don't want these invisible whales out there who have great outsized holdings in stock and no one knows about it. So the same disclosure rules that apply for hedge funds will possibly be the case going forward for family offices.
Bill Hwang has undoubtedly suffered some reputational damage as a result of the collapse of his firm, and it's hard not to see the irony.
That was awful. I'm like so disappointed. There's a video of Bill Hwang begging for more time. Any more time? Yeah, the Hamish one.
This is Brian. Hey, Brian, it's Scott from Archos. How are you? Hey, Scott, how you doing? Doing well. Sorry, it took me a while to get back to you. I apologize. No problem. I just wanted to give you guys a heads up. Obviously, there'll be a sizable call tomorrow.
In early 2021, a hedge fund managing $36 billion violently imploded.
How is it possible? How did someone so secretively build a $36 billion fortune and then so publicly lose it in a matter of days?
How many derivatives and swaps and synthetic positions are placed on things we have no idea about?
Billions of dollars in losses rippling through the investment banking world. But nobody could have predicted what the federal investigation would uncover. What initially looked like reckless leverage.
By the way, I think the Ben Passing thing is real. I don't really want to cover it. Should I cover it? Ugh, you do want me to cover it? All right, fine. What do you mean? I didn't realize it's not for belief, sadly. What does it even mean? What? Fuck. Hold on. Oh, like the charges isn't for belief token? No. Damn, we timed like 3 people out, by the way, for saying, okay, wait, let's see. Pasternak, New York. Case details summary. Defendant. I don't know. I've never seen this, but incident and arrest. Pasternak, born 1999. I banned like 5 people. I don't even know how this shit works. Strangulation 2nd degree. Assault with intent cause physical injury. Wow. Really? Motions? What is motions? Check Evelyn Ha Reddit? Like r/Evelyn Ha? Oh, man. This is crazy. Ugh, dude, I don't want to click on this. I don't want to... Yeah, I'm getting a FaceTime call, too. I got to answer this call. Wait, hold on. Unrelated. Unrelated, I swear. Unrelated. Anyways. Unrelated. A cool friend was calling me. I told him I'm on FaceTime. I'm on stream. Yeah, this is crazy. I'm not gonna lie. No, bad timing, but honest, I've been here before. Genuinely unrelated. Yeah, well, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this, but this is here, wait. Patrick arrested for strangling Evelyn Ha. This is dark, but sorry. Damn. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm just gonna move on from this. Like, I don't. There's like no information, and it's like a fucking. Rough top. Yeah, this is brutal. I don't really want to like go over this. This came out on Reddit like 4 or 5 hours ago. Ugh, man. Yeah, I don't know. I hope this has a positive resolve. I don't really know what that could be, but I don't want to go on Reddit and like cover this. It's a weird spot. What I do want to do though is watch a couple more minutes of this video real quick.
Leverage trading gone wrong was exposed as an enterprise built on fraud and deception. And thanks to Bloomberg, we can now listen to exactly how it unfolded.
This is Bill Hwang, and many of you.
No way. You need to report on Pasternak. What the fuck do you want me to report, you fucking retard? I read the filing. What do you want me to do? Report what? I'm not shilling your token. Bro, by the way, you come here and are shilling a prison token, okay? You are a bad person. You're a disgusting, vile vermin, scum of the earth human, okay? You are shilling a coin. You are the bad person. Thank you.
I have not met, but thank you for being on the call.
Now, on important information.
To Bloomberg, we can now listen to exactly how it unfolded.
This is Bill Hwang, and many of you I have not met, but thank you for being on the call.
A quick shout out to Ticker for sponsoring the video. I've been using their platform for over 5 years now, and I'll show you why at the end of the story. Monday, the 22nd of March, 2021 was a typical trading day for Archos Capital Management. When markets closed, the fund had about $36 billion in net assets, which had grown nearly 5-fold since the start of the year. A few minutes later, Viacom CBS publishes a press release announcing a multi-billion-dollar stock offering. The legacy media company had just recently launched its Paramount Plus
tomorrow.
Yes, that makes.
So UBS was under the impression that these losses were easily covered by those profits.
I just wanted to give you guys a heads up. Obviously, there'll be a sizable call tomorrow.
Yes, that makes sense. Thank you.
I was, to be honest, a little surprised you guys put in the wire today for the extra, since you've been leaving with us for a while.
Yes, would that be okay, or is it?
Scott Becker, the Archegos risk chief, asks UBS to wire $173 million out of their UBS account. A bizarre request, considering they owe UBS a $300 million margin call. This was one of the first signs that Archegos was in trouble, and it went unnoticed. UBS approves the transfer, refused.
Frankly, we don't see how we're going to be able to meet those margin calls fully by tomorrow evening at 6 o'clock.
In the late evening, Archegos co-CEO Andy Mills warns UBS that they'll likely miss tomorrow's margin call.
To give you our assurance that we will get through this very quickly, the first thing I want to say is this is a liquidity issue, not a solvency issue.
This is a liquidity issue, not a solvency issue, is an insane thing to say.
On a call the next morning with Archegos' head trader, William Tomita, UBS
this is the same thing, no?
Finally learns how bad it is.
But how common are those names across your other providers, in terms of what we see? Is that very similar to what you'll be seeing across all your providers, or is it quite different?
I think those concentrated names are a common one at multiple brokers.
So maybe you have for Viacom, Discovery, Tencent, you have those names away as well in size.
Meaningful size, yep.
When markets open, Viacom stock falls another 6%, and Baidu and Tencent fall 14%. The fund's equity drops another 50%. The margin call for that day across all of their brokers was $10.7 billion, greater than the fund's entire remaining equity.
Our most senior management, we have 2 board members in this region who are both directly involved at this level now, who expect to see the margin call today met.
Yep.
So there is no way that we can go back to senior management here having made zero progress on yesterday's margin call.
Yep. Okay.
At 8:22 p.m., Archegos hosts a conference call with all of the banks. They explain that the fund has about $9 billion in equity, but that their total exposure is an eye-watering $120 billion. The brokers have every right to put Archegos into default and begin to beg for more time.
This is Bill Hwang, and I mean today was a shock to me that some of these things went down that much, but even after 3 days of heavy losses, we have a strong capital base. We are very confident in our ability to wind down these names, given little more time.
The bank said no thanks. On Friday morning, the default notices begin pouring in. Whoa. Credit Suisse sells about $3 billion of their...
Imagine making that call for your port, bro.
$17 billion exposure. Goldman Sachs sells $10.5 billion, Morgan Stanley sells $8 billion, and the list goes on.
Vega
the selling
fucking
pressure
capital.
forces Viacom down another 27%, now 52% below where it started the week. Archegos Capital Management were finished. As crazy as these last few days were for Archegos, they raise more questions than they answer. Sure, they were...
Wow. I mean, it's like... Bro, a 25% move blows up your entire fund? Are we insane? Are you nuts? On that much size? It wasn't like they had like $10 million. It's like... Man, that is so... nuts. I've never heard that. Have you heard that story before? I've never heard that story. TJ Look needs to be patched for his fits. Like, I'm tough, is what you're saying? I'm buying some, what do you call these? Cufflinks? I'm trying to buy some. Oh, I didn't cover Justin Sun. That could be the last thing we cover, actually. TG says put on the fits. Thank you, brother. Damn, what a fucking kind of a weird day. Here. This is a big deal, I think. Today, I filed a lawsuit in California, federal court, against World Liberty Financial to protect my legal rights as a holder of World Liberty Fi tokens. This is the Trump family World Liberty Fi. I've always been and remain an ardent supporter of President Trump and his administration's effort to make America crypto-friendly. The lawsuit does not change how I feel about President Trump or the Trump administration. Unfortunately, certain individuals on the World Liberty Project team have been operating the project in a manner that goes against President Trump's values. They wrongfully froze all my tokens, stripped me of my right to vote on governance proposals, and have threatened to permanently destroy my tokens by burning them, all without any proper justification. I do not believe President Trump would condone these actions if he knew about them. I've tried in good faith to resolve the situation with the World Liberty Project team without resorting to litigation, but the project team has refused my request to unfreeze my tokens and restore my rights as a token holder. They have left me with no choice but to turn to the courts. They froze him after the pardon. I think he did get pardoned, right? Is that true? Is he pardoned? Justin Sun pardon. No. All I want is to be treated the same as every other early investor who received tokens, no better, no worse. I also want the community to know that I strongly oppose the new governance proposal World Liberty published on April 15th. Does anybody even know, like, what governance proposal? If it passes, token holders do not affirmatively accept its terms, including a requirement that 10% of all advisor tokens be permanently burned will have their tokens locked indefinitely. Wow. For early purchase of tokens, the proposal imposes a 2-year cliff followed by a 2-year vesting schedule. And again, for those who do not affirmatively accept, their tokens will be locked indefinitely. And this is so ridiculous. The proposal is bad for the community, but because World Liberty has froze my early investor tokens, I cannot vote for or against the proposal. Whoa. I believe in fairness, transparency, and the principles that make crypto powerful. I will continue to fight for those principles. Quote tweeted by Eric Trump, who says, the only thing more ridiculous in this lawsuit is spending $6 million on a banana duct taped to a wall. And then there's this. So, yeah, weird spot. I mean, Justin Sun versus the United States government is like not the cleanest fight to fight, cleanest battle to pick, if you will. But Justin Sun is pretty powerful, as far as I'm aware. I don't know that much about Justin Sun, but he has a lot of money. All right, fine. TradingView watch list. How do I do it? How do I do it? I don't know how to do it. How do I give it to you? I have a lot of them though. How do I give it to you? Oh, publish every one, bro. Oh. Dude, they're not even good. They're not even good watch lists, bro. They're not even good. It's like they're not even good. It's alts, crude oil futures, random stocks, like complete random. Like indexes and majors, crypto and some random shit like Monero is on here for some reason. A couple energy, defense, but like 4 names. Chemical and fertilizer I know nothing about. Big tech, and then Korean stocks. Dude, they're not even good. Oh. It's just like a mess, dude. But I don't even know what they're all named. Money. My crypto one is money for some reason. Yeah. Okay, they're mostly shared. Why is Arthur OX short chip? You need to share the link. I'll send in the pit. I'll send the pit. That was a start. That was a good start. Thanks, Noodle Boy, he says. Share your TG link. Ah, just look at that. Interesting. Is there anything relevant about it? What's his name? David OX Zerg. He's gonna come on tomorrow with Good Alexander. They got an Upbit, which is crazy. Upbit did like $500 million of volume in the first 12 hours. Not that much gets listed on Upbit, bro. Like, in the era of exchange listings don't matter anymore, there is one exchange listing that doesn't matter. Also, here's the stock. Damn, look at this. Ugh. Tesla got fucking... That's brutal, huh? You know how I feel about Tesla up to SpaceX. I don't know. What am I supposed to say? Looks terrible. This thing, look at this, minus 1,000% funding is crazy. Interesting though. Good looking. Decent looking chart. All things considered, not bad. Not great, not bad. Wait, I want to look at this.
The camera.
Oh. How are you, man?
Let's keep the camera off for this one, bro. I had a couple of hot toddies last night and I got a wee hangover. Have you ever been in a K-hole? No? I don't trade much crypto anymore, but I do trade dick pills on chain. I met Ledger one time and he said to me, "You want to go get a burger?" And I said, "Of course, that's all you eat, you carcass. That's all you eat. Now let's go get some fish and chips," I told him. Some proper scran. I think that CL is either a genius or a freaking moron.
That was
I
funny.
can't quite tell what's going on with that pussy cat.
Oh, how are you, man?
Let's keep the camera
That's
off
it?
for
That
this
was
one,
it?
brother.
Coinbase?
I asked Brian Armstrong once if I could work for him for free, bruv, but he told me to go shove it. So I made him buy my company, and that was wonderful. Ledger took me on a tractor one time. Pretty bizarre. If you got two dicks, it makes like a K. You got it? Bloody hell. I don't take too much leverage. Leverage is the devil's ass. Ledger.
That's pretty good. That's good shit. That was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. Best Gabriel skit ever. All right. It was a good stream today. There's a lot of stuff all over the place. I'm not gonna lie. Things are just like a lot happening. We got a little side. I'm not gonna lie. We got a little sidetrack today, I think. But tomorrow is. Would you ever launch a fund like 20 VC, bro? I want to launch a fund. I think that's like the final iteration. I think at some point I want to launch an activist fund where we do like. I want to start ripping some Carl Icahn and hostile takeovers, bro. Insert myself as CEO. Can you imagine? Can you actually imagine? Can you imagine? Damn, why is everyone blaming on me? Succession, real. Real. Icon. Sorry. I rented Capital. What they did with Snap, it's crazy. Be a crypto activist. The problem is like crypto activists is just like there's nothing to trade. There's nothing to trade on a lot of these coins. And the only couple coins that is good to trade, there's like so much. There's still the couple coins that are tradable are so incredible. It's like, what am I going to do with Hyperliquid? Hostile takeover on Jeff? Are you out of your fucking mind? It's also too risky with tokens. You have no like shareholder protections, nothing. Just like, yeah, exactly. You have no protection whatsoever. Golem, I don't even know what that is. You have nothing. So I don't know. That's probably like my final ascension. Use the stream motion to raise a fund and see what happens. Trading at 0.5 book value is crazy. How?
Retarded. They're retarded.
Wait, this is pretty funny, actually. Can I watch this? You know what this is? Chat, you know what this is? Trainwrecks?
Bro, these guys are retarded. What's the point? These guys are actually retarded. They're retarded. Like, X doesn't need some dude living in fucking southeastern or Eastern Europe fucking making a decision. Like who is this? Nikita? Like,
oh, he doesn't know. He doesn't know. He does not know.
Like, all respect to you, bro. I'm sure you're a fucking genius, you know, in your field, but clearly there's no connection between like original X users and the right. Like, respectfully, it's not the everyday X user that's keeping the site alive. Like that's all padding. It is the niche communities that are maintaining the like foundational core, like, you know, support system that maintains the site while all the other, you know, 9 to 5 users are at work or doing whatever. Like, removing communities is crazy to me. It doesn't make sense.
I never used communities, to be honest. They did take them off. I never really thought that really mattered. When they nuked your ability to post in the community instead of and force you to post straight to your feed, it was GG's. Like, well, there's no point in the community anymore. Leaving tomorrow. We have USDAI/Chip founder with Good Alexander coming on at the same time. I think it'll actually be a fun one. Hopefully it's not too doomer. I actually think Good Alexander's been pretty on the money. He's been pretty bullish. Nailed a lot of stuff. He's been pretty right about a lot of stuff. Good stream, fun stream. There's some trades on the market. You maybe could have big chip. It was kind of a weird one. Honestly, I didn't know that much about it, but there are spots. There are spots. It's a market where there's spots. We're picking spots. We're trying to hit spots. I got to 3 hours today, which is incredible. And that's what we do. So if you were new here, if you just came back from the Kobe stream, whatever it was, I welcome you. We welcome you to the pit. We welcome you to the community. We welcome you to the fam. That's what we're out here to do, man. All right, fine. We'll do this. I'm so close. 40 seconds. I'm so close. I welcome you to the fam. I welcome you into the community. And I don't know. We're gonna have a lot of fucking fun together, man. I'm so close. So yeah, man, this is great. You guys rock. I love doing this every day, and I'm having a great time, man. If it wasn't obvious, I'm having a great time. I love you. I appreciate you. And oh wait, I have one really important thing that I want to.